Top of it, top of it. Go ahead, wipe your feet off at the door, step into a pimp's domain. Hit that like button for a pimp one time. Yes, indeed. We're going to have us another classic this evening. Goldie, I see you. Blessings. Reese, I see you. Chester Charm, what's up with it? King Negus, what's up with it? Some more of it. You did. Yes, indeed. OG Ken, I see you. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, Sin posted some classic roast videos recently. Backpack Zo, top of it, man. I see you. Go ahead, wipe your feet off at the door, man, when you step into a pimp's domain. Hit that thumbs up, that like button one time. Gonna let everybody place their seats one time before we get started. Bitch, ho up. I appreciate you, Chester. God bless you too, man. Much appreciated. Dig that. Yeah, it's time to permanently disconnect your ass, disrespectful ass. You got the game mixed up. Somebody got you thinking this pimps down and clicks up, but I ain't got a click molecule in my body. And bitch, you got a whole damn fool in your body. This pimpin' is kinda heavy. End zone, I'm not sure who you talking about. Red with the shades, I'm not sure. Much love though. Helena, I see you. Peace and blessings to you as well as always. Carl Michael, blessings to you as well. King Reviews, I see you. Khalil, top of it. Freddie P, good looking with the $2 holler. Much appreciated. John ETE, live from Philly, I see you. Player D, Brother Michael, I see y'all. Nah, End Zone, if you saw, I think I know what video you talking about. If you saw Sinful call somebody in the video Frank White, then that's who that was. That's that individual's name. All right, now. Cross Country County Jail Tales. Y'all know Freeze, man. You know, unfortunately, man, I done did too much time in my life in jail. Not nearly as much as others, but you know, too much for me, man. I've altogether I've done a little bit over 2 years of my life behind bars, and you know, like I said, that's not as much as other people that I know, but at the same time, it's too damn much for myself. Go ahead, wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. What I mean by that is hit that like button. You dig? Please and thank you. And also, please go ahead and put some of this love in your body. First order of business, you know, and thank you for doing so. Hydrate yourself. Put some of this love juice in your body one time, like so. Now, don't try this at home. And what I mean by that is, yeah, try this at home as far as putting some love in your body. But don't try this at home as far as, you know, doing it as pimpishly as Freeze does it. You know what I mean? Don't try this at home. You might hurt yourself trying to be this fly when you put some love juice in your body. You dig? All right. So we got a decent amount of people in here to get started. So let's see. You know what? Yeah, we'll start there. All right, so one of my least favorite places in the country to go, and probably a place that I'll never ever go unless there's some like special significant reason for me to go there, and that's Virginia. I can't stand Virginia. They everywhere in America, the laws got their own different special get downs as far as how they do people foul, especially minorities like myself. That Virginia is an especially foul place, but I can't stand that place. And that's somewhere that, like I said, as far as going just to go, I in my mind, I'm never ever going. I'll never ever set foot or have anything to do with Virginia ever again, right? But I'm gonna tell y'all why. I have a county jail tale with Virginia, right? So leading up to the county jail experience, what had happened was, right? It's always what had happened was. What had happened was, hold on, Lord Willem TV. Good looking with the $5 holla. I appreciate you. Let me get this together so I can see better. Okay. Now, so some of y'all done probably heard me speak on once upon a time I had a hookup with rooms and flights and things like that, right? So I'm in Arlington, Virginia. I'm staying at the Marriott Crystal City. And I'm staying there on the hookup, right? Now, I got 2 rooms at this place, right? Both of these rooms is under the same name, and they're adjacent from each other, across the hall from each other, right? Now, initially, one of the rooms was supposed to be a work room for my peoples, and the other room was supposed to be a lay room. So it's a lay room and a work room for my peoples, right? So what had happened was, it was this dude, that was from PG County, who I was cool with at the time. I didn't really know the dude like that, but I was cool with him based on mutual friends that we had from LA. So fucking with this dude that turned out to be a sucker and a weirdo and some more shit, a straight buster, right? I let him have the other room. And when I let him have the other room, he had a little broad that he wanted to go pick up. Now, this dude ain't no pimping, but being around me, I guess he called himself one to try his hand, or, call himself one to be a player, Mac, whatever the fuck he want to call himself, right? But anyway, I let him have the second room that I had at this Marriott in Arlington County, in the city of Arlington, Virginia, right? So when I give him the room, he like, yo, bro, let me, you think I could use your car, man? You do me a favor, let me use your car to go pick up this bitch? I say, yeah, that's cool. Now, the problem with him using my car, right? This is why I really shouldn't have let him use it in the first place. I knew that one of my tires had a slow leak on it, right? And I didn't get a chance to get it fixed that day. So what I didn't realize at the time is, when I let him borrow my car, the tire was flat before I even gave him the keys to the car. My tire was flat, right? So this motherfucker, like I said, I don't realize this until the next day. But this motherfucker drove my car. I had 20-inch chrome rims on my shit. It was a S-Class Benz, right? I let him drive my Benz. Well, I didn't realize he was doing it, but he drove the motherfucker on a flat tire, right? And he drove it to a gas station, put some air in the motherfucker. But what his silly ass didn't know is, by driving on the tire flat, you fucked up the tire. So he put some air in the motherfucker, right? You know what I mean? fucked the tire all up. But anyway, he go get the bitch. And he come back to the room. Now, like I said, this room is on a hookup, right? So the thing with the hookup, when you got a room, you could order room service. You know, you could like watch movies and order it and charge it to the room and all that shit, right? But you got to be modest with the shit. You know, don't be ordering bottles of champagne and, you know, spending thousands of dollars and shit like that. You know, be modest with the shit. And this is what I tell the dude, right? OG Ken, you already know. We're going to get to that other place in a minute. But yeah, Virginia is definitely one. But anyway, so I tell dude, I say, yeah, you know, with this room, everything is all good. You can order some room service. You can order a bottle of wine, cheap little $30 bottle of wine or something. You can order a nice dinner. You know, just don't go over, I think I told him $200, you know what I mean, within that first night. You know, just don't go over $200, right? So he go get the broad, come back to the room, give me the keys, and I don't know, I guess he called himself trying to show out in front of this bitch. I still to this day don't know what he did, right? But the night passed, the next morning come, right? It's like 7 in the morning. He come knocking on my door. I step into the hallway with him. He like, yo, Freeze, man. You think you could let me use your car to take old girl back? That's what I forgot to mention. He got a speeding ticket in my shit. So not only did he fuck up my tire, but he got a speeding ticket in my shit, right? So I'm like, nah, man, you getting speeding tickets in my car and shit, man. Nah, you can't use the car to go take old girl back. You know what I mean? That ain't happening. Y'all gonna have to figure something else out. He like, all right, man. Now I fall for this old sucker ass move that he do, right? And he like, after I tell him he can't use the car, he like, all right, well, I left something in the car. You think I can use the key to go get it? I say, yeah. So I hand him the key. You know, I'm not expecting him to be this much of a sucker, but he was. I hand him the key, and I go back in my room. Literally, not even 2 minutes, not even 120 seconds later, after I give him the key and go into my room, I hear a knock. But it's the room across the hall. It's the room that he's in, right? So I look through the peephole, and I see the security. It's the head of security, and then the little regular security dude. They knocking at there's two of them. They knocking at his door, right? Now I'm thinking that the little broad that he was with is in the room, and he just went to the car to go get something, right? So they knock, nobody answer. I'm watching the whole shit. They go inside the room, right? The head of security unlocked the door, and the regular security dude go inside the room. He look around, ain't nobody in there. So then I done put it together like, damn, this motherfucker, he done did something to make the situation hot and skipped out and left me stuck there. Took my car, you know what I mean? When I gave him the key, that's what he did. He snuck in the room, snuck the bitch out with him, and left in my car and left me there in the frying pan that he done lit. You know what I mean? So I'm like, fuck. But fortunately, at this very moment, they never came. Now, mind you, like I said, both rooms is under the same name, which was strange to me. They went to his room, but they never came to my room, right? So I watched the motherfuckers walk away. And yeah, Ricardo, man, this sucker ass nigga drove off with my car, man, and left me there stuck in a situation that a fucked up situation that he created. So, like I say, security, they leave, right? When they leave, I had my bitch, because she was in the room with me in the room that I was in. I had her get all of her stuff, you know what I mean? And we leave out the room, right? Now, what I didn't tell y'all, this is where I fucked up, right? This is where I fucked up. Because like I said, originally that room that I gave him, I wasn't planning on giving him. So when I had first got the room, I had a blazer on, right? And when I got the room, I went in the room and I took the blazer off and set it on the chair. Now the problem with that was that with this blazer, I had my California driver license, my Arizona driver license, my Arizona ID, and I had like 3 or 4 fake IDs, fake driver license, right? So I had like 6, 7 IDs inside the pocket in that blazer. And when I left out the room and gave him the room, I left that blazer in the fucking room and my laptop. I left my laptop in there too, right? So I'm like, fuck. So I tell the bitch, I'm like, come on, let's go. We got to hurry up, get out of here. So the bitch hurry up, get her shit. We leave, right? Now, for those of y'all who not familiar with Arlington, Virginia, they have, it's like an underground, they have like an underground like city type of thing, right? Where, you can go underground and walk around the whole city. Like you can walk down the street. You could get through the whole city underground, right? So me and the bit in the way the hotel elevator takes you underground, right? Crystal City. Mr. Taylor 703, you already know. So we was at the Crystal City Marriott. So the hotel, the elevator takes you underground to that underground city shit. So we catch the elevator, we go underground, we go down the street, we come back up to the surface street, and we like around the corner at this point, right? Now, so what happens after that? So the nigga, he called me, and he like, yeah, no, I call him. I'm like, my nigga, where you at with my fucking car? My nigga, like, you gonna do a nigga like that after I'm looking out for you? He like, oh man, I had to go take old girl, man, but your tire is fucked up, man. But I took it and I fixed it though. I fixed it temporarily. I took it to a tire shop and they patched it up, and they said you probably got like 100 miles on it. That 100 miles turned out to be like 5 miles. But anyway, this is what he's saying, right? So I'm like, nigga, you need to get back over here with my car, man. So he come back with the car, right? My tire all fucked up. But it's still mobile at this moment, right? So what I have them do, that's what I did, right? So he come back with the car. I called a hotel, and I'm like, yeah, I tried to get in my room. My room key didn't work. I was wondering what was going on. And they said, oh, it was a problem with the payment. So you guys won't be able to stay here anymore. But you can come and get your belongings, right? This shit really was a trap. It was a setup, right? And I smelled it, right? So because they were familiar with my face as the person who checked in, I sent the bitch and this dude who doing all this sucker ass shit. I sent both of them in the hotel to go get all of our shit out of the rooms, right? Now the bitch, she a lot sharper and faster than this dude, right? So when they go in the room, when they go to the hotel, they tell the front desk, they like, yeah, we here to pick up our belongings. We'll stand in room such and such. And they tell them the name that the room is in, right? They say, all right, stay right here. So the bitch, she goes stand off in the cut, like to where she can't be seen, right? And dude, he just go follow the bitch. But while they standing over there, the police come in and go straight to the front desk. Like 2 police officers come in and go straight to the front desk, right? When that happened, the bitch, because where she was standing at, she was right by the stairs. So the bitch, she go downstairs and go underground again and go down the street and shit, right? The nigga, he goes out into the front of the hotel by the valet, and he called me. So mind you, I don't know that the bitch done got away, right? I don't know this at this point. But the nigga called me. He like, bro, where you at, man? I need you to come get me. I'm like, man, I'm right down the street. Matter of fact, as a matter of fact, I was able to see the nigga when he came outside, right? And I seen that he was by himself. He couldn't see me. He didn't know where I was. I was like 2 blocks down, but I could see the valet of the hotel from there, right? So the nigga, he like, man, I need you to come get me, man. It's all bad. I say, I said, what's going on? He like, man, the police just showed up, man. I need you to come get me. I said, where's the bitch? He said, I don't know where she went, but she got away. She good. And he hang up the phone. He said, I'm gonna call you back. So the nigga, I think he went back inside the hotel. He did some weird ass shit, but bottom line, they snatch him up, right? The people get him, right? So the niggas, they don't arrest him. They just got him detained and they take him like into the security room of the hotel, right? And they interrogating the nigga and shit in there, right? So I'm like, damn, it's all bad. They done got this nigga, right? The bitch, she come back up to the surface. She called me. I link up with her. And we drive to DC. But on the way to DC, crossing over the motherfucking water, crossing over the bridge, the motherfucking tire blow out. But we in the middle of the freeway when the tire blow out, so I say, fuck it, man. My rim already fucked up. The tire fucked up, so I just drove that motherfucker to the exit over on the DC side and parked it, right? So how about an hour later? This nigga texts me, right? No. First he called me. I was ignoring his call, right? Then the nigga texts me. And he said, yo, they let me go in the room and get my stuff, but you can't go back over there. The nigga text me this. I'm like, what the fuck? So how they let this nigga go in the room and get his shit, but I can't go back over there, right? So the nigga, that was another thing too. I used to always keep throwaway. I used to have like 5-6 throwaway phones on me, right? At all times. So I called a nigga from one of my little throwaway phones. And I'm like, my nigga, what's going on? Like, what happened? He like, Raider G, nah, I wish I could. I never seen him again after that. I wish I could beat the nigga up right now. And this been over 10 years ago. I wish I could whoop the nigga right now. But anyway, I called a nigga from the dummy phone. Like, my nigga, what's going on? He like, yeah, he tell me this bullshit story that he supposedly told the police. So he like, yeah, man, they let me go in the room and get my stuff, man. So I went in there and got my stuff. I left your stuff in there. I'm like, how the hell did that work? And why you saying I can't go back over there? He like, no, because what happened was I told them, they asked me what I was doing there. And I told them, I was over in DC partying last night and I met a prostitute and I came over here to her room to have some fun. I'm like, this stupid ass nigga. You know what I mean? Now, first of all, I know the nigga, he lying, but on top of lying, like, you saying, like, even if you really did say any of that shit, like, my nigga, why would you say any of that shit? But he, like, really trying to link up with me, though. At the same time that he telling me I can't go over there, he like, bro, where you at, man? I got my mom's car, man. Because he was from PG County. For those of y'all not familiar, that's Prince George County. He like, I went over mom's crib, man. I got my mom's car, man. I'll come pick you up. Because he like, where you at, man? I said, man, the car, the tire done blew out, man. And I got the car parked. And he was like, well, where you at, man? I got my mom's car, man. I'll come pick you up. I said, wow, this nigga, he really trying. He really trying to nab a pimp. He really trying to get a pimp caught up. This is what I'm thinking the whole time, right? Now, anybody know me, I got a great sense of direction. Whatever city I go to, that's the first thing I do is learn my way around. So I knew exactly where I was at in DC, but the nigga like, where you at, man? I'm like, man, I don't know, man. I'm just walking around, man. I ain't got a clue where I'm at. I don't know where the fuck I'm at. I'm just walking around. I know exactly where the fuck I'm at. But I ain't finna tell this old sucker ass, snitching ass nigga that shit. So that was that, right? Now, a few days later, I'm staying at the, which is a Friday. No, not a few days later. This is like almost a week later, right? Because all that shit happened, I think it was a Saturday or something. Or a Sunday. So that following Friday, I'm at the Renaissance Hotel in DC, right? And it's Friday afternoon, and I'm sitting there in the room, and I'm like, man, I should go to New York, man. I should just get on the highway and go to New York. But I was bullshitting, dragging my feet about doing this shit, right? my bitch was already in New York. The bitch that I had there with me, she was already in New York because she had a regular that paid her like, you know, a couple bands to come up there and fuck with her, right? So I was like, man, I should just go up to New York, link up with the bitch and just stay there, right? So I'm getting ready to walk out the room. When I'm getting ready to walk out the room, the room phone ring, right? It rang 3 times. I answered it on the 3rd ring. As soon as I answer and say hello, the phone hang up. My heart started doing like this. I'm like, fuck. You know, because don't nobody know I'm standing in this room, like, and I'm there by myself. I'm like, what the fuck? So I hurry up and get out the room, and I go to the parking garage, which is underground. They got underground parking there. As soon as I go down there and hit the button to unlock my car, as soon as the lights flash on my car, Secret Service swoop on me from all directions, right? So I'm like, fuck. Damn. And the first thing these motherfuckers say, right? The first thing these motherfuckers tell me, they say, do you know Daryl Washington? I'm like, nah, right? Now, I didn't know at the time, but I come to find out because I knew him by his nickname, right? But I come to find out that Daryl Washington is the nigga who I was at the room with, who did all this so suck ass shit, fuck my tire up, snitched on me, all that, right? It's the first thing these motherfuckers say, do you know Daryl Washington? I say, nah. I don't know who that is. I don't know nobody. So they take me in their little security room of the Renaissance Hotel, right? Now, this how cold the shit was, right? Now, it's DC Metro Police there, and it's Secret Service there. And they really don't have no grounds to arrest me. They sat there, they had me in one room, and they was in the next room, but I could overhear everything they was saying. They sat there and debated with each other for about a whole hour, maybe a little over an hour, about what they were going to charge me with. When they were trying to figure out what they was going to charge me with to arrest me, right? And I come to find out, because the Renaissance is owned by Marriott, right? And after this shit, I come to find out that when that shit happened at Crystal City Marriott, that Crystal City Marriott put a memo out to all the Marriott hotels in the area about me. You know what I mean? So the security at the Renaissance got the memo, seeing that I was staying at his hotel, and then that's how I get cracked, right? So like I said, I'm sitting there in this security room for like an hour. And DC Metro, no, Secret Service is like, we could charge them with credit card fraud. We could charge them with credit card fraud. And DC Metro was like, well, nah, we can't charge them with credit card fraud because technically no credit card fraud has been committed at this point, because the card that's on file ain't been charged, because my stay wasn't over with yet. I still had like a few more days left on that stay, right? And I don't know how they do it now, but at that time, they didn't charge you until after you check out, right? So the card that was on file hadn't been charged yet, right? And so that's what DC Metro was saying to Secret Service. They like, well, we can't arrest them for fraud because the card hasn't been used yet. And then DC Metro, I forget what the charge was that they were saying that they could charge me with. And the card that was on file, that was another thing. The card that was on file was from Brazil. So whatever it was DC was saying, Secret Service was like, well, no, we can't charge them with that because the card is from Brazil and it ain't no victim, because that's another thing. I don't want to give up too much game, but it wasn't like the card didn't belong to nobody. There wasn't a person who the card belonged to, right? So finally they just threw some bullshit charge on me and took me to jail, right? And this was, like I said, this was Friday. DC got Saturday court. So I only was in jail for one night. I go to court. I walk in the courtroom, you know what I mean? They take the cuffs off me. I walk in the courtroom, they call my name, and I say, yeah, that's me. The judge banged the gavel and say dismissed, right? So the little bullshit charge they put on me, dismissed it. By this time, the bitch, she done came back from New York. She sit in the audience. When the judge banged the gavel and say dismissed, I walk, the bitch stand up, get with me, and we walk out the courtroom together, right? So not even an hour later, because they left my car at the Renaissance, right? They didn't tow or impound my car or nothing at this point, right? So I go to the police station and get my property, which had my car keys in it, and I go back to I catch a cab. You know, this is way before Ubers and all that shit, right? I catch a cab from the courthouse to the police station, which the police station I think was in Northwest DC or something. I go over there, get my property, catch a cab down to the Renaissance, get my car, right? I didn't even make it probably like not even 5 blocks, like 3 or 4 blocks away from the Renaissance, right? I stop at a red light, it's on a one-way, right? So I'm all the way on the left lane. It's a motherfucking police officer all the way on the right lane. When the light changed and I pull off, that motherfucker swerve all the way from the right lane and pull me over, right? Again, motherfuckers, Secret Service, Metro, the motherfuckers come from every direction, right? They take me to jail again. This is Sunday, right? The next day, Sunday. These motherfuckers take me to jail again for driving on a suspended license. I didn't even know that my damn license was suspended. I honestly didn't know, because I had been pulled over in Houston. I had been pulled over, I think, in Chicago. I had been pulled over in several places, and I didn't know that my license was suspended, right? But I come to find out the hard way. You know, DC, they hella thorough. You know what I mean? They gonna check every nook and cranny. So they seen that my license was suspended. They knew that probably before I even got out of jail. You know what I mean? They probably already had it in mind, like, yeah, as soon as he get out of jail and take his car, we gonna book him for driving on suspended license. They probably had that shit already planned. You know, DC, them police out there is some crafty motherfuckers, right? But anyway, so they take me to jail. They impound my car. I think that time I got out of jail the same day. But whether it was the same day or the next day, whatever the case, when I get out of jail, I go to the impound yard, right? The dude at the motherfucking impound yard is an old black man. This motherfucker, before I even told him, I didn't tell him my name, no information or nothing, right? As soon as I walk in, before I can even open my mouth, he slide me a business card. He said, yeah, special agent such and such. I don't want to say his name. You know what I mean? Because I don't want no smoke with Secret Service. You know what I mean? Freeze like this, even though this shit been over a decade ago, you know, Freeze don't want no smoke with Secret Service, right? But he said, yes, special agent XYZ said to call him, right? So I take the business card. I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean? That's what it was. They put a hold on my shit, right? So I called the Secret Service, the special agent Secret Service dude. He tell me, he said, yeah, you got a warrant in Virginia in Arlington County, and you know, I put a hold on your car here in DC, and I'm not gonna lift the hold off of your car until you go to Virginia and face your charges. So I'm like, what the fuck? So basically, this motherfucker want me to go turn myself in and face the charges in Arlington County before I could get my fucking car back. So I said, all right, I hung up the phone, and to myself, I said, fuck you, fuck Virginia, fuck that car, I'm finna go pimp it. I chalked that car up, man, because I wasn't trying to go to jail, man, fuck that. So this was all of this took place in July 2010, right? July 2010, all of this take place. Right, Born Supreme, catch me if you can. I'm out of here. So, fast forward, right? This is July 2010 when all this happened. Fast forward to November 2012. This 2 years and some change later, right? It's 2 days after Thanksgiving. I had just left Chicago Friday night. I'm on my way down to Miami. I'm passing through D.C. It's Saturday morning. I mean, not D.C. I'm passing through Tennessee on Highway 24. It's Saturday morning, right? I'm not speeding. I'm not doing nothing illegal. You know what I mean? I come to find out the hard way that, man, the motherfucking Tennessee state troopers is some foul motherfuckers. I got the car on cruise control, doing the speed limit. Why? Because, nigga, I'm from California, and I got Arizona plates, and I just know how the police get down in these different states. I'm not trying to have no reason to get pulled over. You know what I mean? So I'm doing the speed limit. I got it on cruise control. I'm not speeding. I'm not swerving. I'm not doing shit. These motherfuckers get behind me and pull me over, right? They said I was speeding. The speed limit is 65. I believe they tried to say I was doing 78 or some shit like that, right? O'Shea, good looking, man. Got to pay the pimp. I appreciate you, man. Good looking as always, man. I see you tuned in to these pimp tales, man. We have a story time right now. You dig? But so Tennessee State Troopers pulled me over, right? They bogus ass excuse was that I was speeding. They tried to say I was doing, I think it was 78 or something like that. They tried to say I was doing 78 in a 65, right? Which I know is bullshit, right? So I'm like, the fuck? Damn, man. So now I know at this time that I have a warrant in Virginia, right? So, because like I said, the Secret Service dude let me know that. Droney, as always, man, good looking with the $50 holler. What's up, fam? I see you. So, like I said, I know I got this warrant in Virginia, right? And this been 2 years that I've had this warrant in Virginia. I'd have been pulled over in Chicago. I'd have been pulled over in California, Arizona, Nevada, several cities and states. I done been pulled over. And every time I get pulled over, they tell me, they say, yeah, you know you got a felony warrant out of Virginia, right? And I play dumb. No, I didn't know that. They say, yeah, but it's only extraditable from surrounding states. So, just make sure that you don't go to any surrounding states that border Virginia. So I'm like, all right, cool. I don't realize at this time that Tennessee borders Virginia. It's a small ass little section, on the map where Tennessee and Virginia border each other, right? Fucking punk ass Tennessee, man. That fucking long ass state. That shit borders like I want to say it's 8 different states. It's no other state in the U.S. that borders more other states than fucking Tennessee. And I find this shit out the hard way, right? Real shit. Bristol City is the border. Bristol is the city border. Shaking my head. Right. You already know, Mr. Taylor 703. Yeah, you already know. So, but like I said, Tennessee, the state troopers, they foul. They on some bullshit, right? Now, for some odd reason, in their system, because they run my name, right? And they come back and they tell me that I got a warrant out of they say that the warrant is from Arizona. And I already know the reason why they saying that is because I have Arizona registration. I got Arizona plates and Arizona driver license, right? So they telling me I got a felony warrant out of Arizona. I'm playing dumb because, like, this didn't happen to me before. Like, in other places, they'll say that I got a felony warrant out of Arizona, but I know it's Virginia. For some reason, in some people's systems back then, it was showing up like that, right? So when they tell me I got a felony warrant out of Arizona, I'm playing dumb. I'm like, what? I ain't got no warrant out of Arizona. Like, which that part is true. I know I got a felony warrant, but it's not from Arizona. I ain't finna tell them that, but I'm like, man, I ain't got no felony warrant out of Arizona, man. What? No, that ain't right. So this is the bullshit, right? They really do all of this. Oh, okay. So let me tell this part, right? So you know, when you got a felony warrant out of another place that's extraditable, that agency is supposed to call that city and state or whatever. Where they supposed to call whoever wants you, or whoever got a fugitive warrant out for you, and see if they want you, right? So they thinking the warrant is from Arizona. So they call Arizona, right? To see if Arizona want me. They call Arizona. Arizona, you know, they like, we don't have no warrant for him. You know what I mean? This is what they say. Of course, I find this out later because I end up getting the videotape down the line. You know, when I was fighting the bullshit case, I ended up getting the videotape. They was doing some foul shit. You know what I mean? When you get that motherfucking videotape and see how the motherfuckers get out, the conversations that they have amongst themselves, they foul as a motherfucker. But anyway, right? So they call, and obviously nobody is saying that they want me because my warrant is not out of Arizona. So they come back and tell me that Arizona want me, right? So I'm like, what the fuck? So what it was, they using all of this, and they sat in the car and plotted on this for about like 30 minutes, right? But they using all of this to search the car because I got Arizona plates. So they probably thinking and then I got a Cadillac Eldorado, you know what I mean, on 20-inch chrome Dayton's with the Vogue tires, mayonnaise and mustard, dark ass fucking I think my tint was like 8% or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Dark ass, or 6%, some shit like that. Dark ass tint. And you know, I'm a nigga. And I'm suited and booted. You know, so I'm suited and booted, clean cut, handsome young fly, articulate, you know what I mean, gentleman, nigga. And, you know, I'm driving this, you know, car, right, mob dark, like Anton say, exactly. So I'm driving this car, you know what I mean, with Arizona plates. So they like, this nigga gotta be a fancy ass drug dealer or something with this fucking suit on. Fucking punk ass nigga. I'm already knowing they saying that in their mind. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? They in their head, you know, with they motherfucking Tennessee accent. This motherfucking nigger from over in Arizona. You know what I mean? That's how they say over there, over there. They say over. They don't say over there, they say over. Motherfucking nigger from over in Arizona. But anyway, you know what I mean? They say that Arizona wants me. So they take me in, they take me and put me behind and put me in the back of their squad car, right? And they start searching my car because now they, you know, they got the right to search my car, supposedly, whatever, right? So they search my car and they find a laptop and they find a credit card reader writer, right? Laptop, credit card reader writer. Now, the laptop was mine, right? The credit card reader writer belonged to a homeboy of mine. Honest to God truth. I was just holding it for him. I wasn't even using the motherfucker. You know what I mean? It had been sitting in my trunk for fucking months. It had just been sitting there. You know, I'm moving around cross country. And I got this fucking card reader. I should have been, you know, put it in the mail and shipped it to him. But nonetheless, I got this card reader and this laptop on me. You know what I mean? So it's looking bad. But these country, you know, these fucking redneck motherfuckers, they don't even know what that shit is. They've never even seen or heard of a credit card reader writer. Because not only is this Tennessee, but this is in the sticks. This is in the middle of nowhere in Tennessee. You know what I mean? Where they only see black folks on TV when they watch football and basketball, right? So they don't even know what this shit is, right? But they take the shit. You know what I mean? And they go and research and find out what it is, right? But what they don't know is it's not illegal to have a credit card reader in your possession, right? Now, some of the things that people do with a credit card reader writer, of course, is illegal, but the mere possession of it is not illegal, right? So it's like having some cake mix, some eggs, some milk, some butter. You know what I mean? You got these ingredients, but they trying to say that you guilty of having a cake. You know what I mean? Because like they trying to say that I'm guilty of credit card fraud or whatever, right? Now, you know what I mean? I got the ingredients, but there's no cake. Where's the cake? You know what I mean? So just like where's the cake? You know what I mean? Where's the credit card fraud? You know what I mean? This is my argument, right? But anyway, they charge these motherfuckers were so desperate and thirsty, right? They charged me with, and it's a motherfucking charge that these motherfuckers ain't never even heard of before. You know, while I'm sitting there waiting to be extradited, because like I said, they arrested me on the warrant, but they what they ended up doing is because I sat there for 30 days, and I'm gonna tell you about that Tennessee situation in a minute, right? That jail is fucked up. But anyway, I sat there for 30 days. I get extradited to Virginia. And when I get extradited to Virginia, after I left Tennessee, they put their own charges on me. So it's a fucked up chain of events. You know what I mean? I get arrested in Tennessee for a warrant that I got in Virginia. And when I go to Virginia, now I got a warrant in Tennessee. All this crazy bullshit, right? So now I'm in the county jail in Virginia, right? Now, Arlington County, you know, for those of y'all who don't know, they are one of the they have like one of the highest incomes. They like in the top 5 or something as far as income goes, right? So Arlington County is a rich ass county. They one of the richest counties in the country, right? And within that, they jail is nice as fuck. You know what I mean? They jail is too nice for comfort. Like, no jail should be this fucking nice. You know, jail is supposed to be some shit that's fucked up to where you say to yourself, man, I ain't never doing no shit to go back to jail because that shit is fucked up. This Arlington jail is like fucking Disneyland. This shit is nice as a motherfucker. The jail is so motherfucking nice that the homeless people, and this is some real talk, it sounds funny, but it's the truth. And anybody who know about Arlington County know. Fairfax County too. But Arlington County jail is so fucking nice that the homeless motherfuckers around there in the wintertime, because it get cold as fuck, it's snow and some more shit. The homeless motherfuckers there purposely do some shit, purposely do some crime to go to jail. So that they'll be in out the cold. They feed you good as a motherfucker. You know, this is the only county jail I know that has Walkman. You know, you could order a Walkman and have a Walkman in the county jail. You know, that's normally some prison shit. Right, like James Hudson say, like the Beverly Hills jail. It probably is some shit like that, right? But anyway, you can have a Walkman in this jail. You know what I mean? When you get arrested and you get booked in, you wear whatever shoes you get arrested in. So, you know, I had some Jordans on when I got arrested. No. I take that. No. Damn, how did I get them fucking Jordans? Because I got arrested in a suit in Tennessee. Damn, that's a good ass. Damn. All I know is I remember I had some fucking Jordans in there, right? And everybody was like loving these fucking Jordans. But you have, you know, whatever shoes you get arrested in or you get processed in with, that's the shoes that you're going to wear the whole time there. They have a motherfucking laundry room inside the unit where you could do laundry whenever you want. This jail is just too fucking nice, man. Like, no jail should be that damn nice. And they have a motherfucking gym. They have like a real like gym, like with machine weights. They actually have weights in the fucking county jail. It's machine weights, but nonetheless, they have weights in the county jail. You know what I mean? And they feed you good as a motherfucker. You know, and what was good for me having to be there is that they don't serve pork. You know, so I didn't have to, subject myself to starving, because some jails I done been through that before where they serve pork, and on them days where they serve pork, I just go hungry. So they feed you nice as a motherfucker. Now, what I hated about this motherfucking Arlington County jail, and shout out to the real DMV niggas, right? Shout out to the real solid DMV street niggas, you know what I mean? Who ain't no suckers, you know what I mean? Because you got real niggas and you got suckers everywhere, right? And what I hated about this motherfucking jail is they had a fucking noise level in the day room, right? Because it's a pod, meaning they got a bottom tier and the top tier cells all the way around. And the cells is nice as a motherfucker, and they have a day room in the middle of the pod where you watch TV and shit like that. And, motherfuckers watch sports, and sometimes when you watch sports, you get excited. So you make noise, you cheer, you scream, especially when your team is winning. When your team get mad, you make noise too, but it's not a cheerful noise, it's an angry noise, and what I hated about these niggas in this motherfucking unit is, these type of niggas is just suckers, right? Say we watching a game, we watching a football game. You know what I mean? Niggas start cheering, making noise and shit like that, right? Motherfucking CO say, hey, keep the noise down. That's your first warning. So, all right, we get it. You know what I mean? But the game is exciting in the motherfucker, so something happened in the game, we cheering again. You know what I mean? The CO make another announcement. Hey, keep the noise down. That's your second warning. Y'all got one more time. And these sucker ass niggas will stand up and be like, hey, man, you heard the man. Come on, man. Keep the noise down, man. Fuck wrong with y'all? Like, hey, man, I ain't never cool with niggas that help the police do their job, man. Like, and we already in jail, my nigga. Like, why is you in jail helping the police do their job in jail, my nigga? Like, sit your ass down, shut the fuck up, nigga. You keep the noise down, nigga. Don't try to tell no other grown men what to do, nigga. Make me want to get loud as a motherfucker on purpose and get us locked down on purpose just to spite your sucker ass, nigga. You know what I mean? But this jail was so motherfucking nice. It wasn't no fights. Nobody ever got in fights in that motherfucker. It was just too nice. I didn't like that motherfucker because it was too nice. It was too clean. It was too comfortable. It was too friendly. You know what I mean? Jail supposed to be fucked up, man. And like, I don't know what it was about that motherfucker. Like, people was real comfortable in there making themselves too at home. You're supposed to make the most out of whatever situation you in. But I just didn't like that motherfucking jail. But anyway, so I ended up getting bailed out. And, okay, so I get bailed out, right? Man, Virginia's so motherfucking dirty. I'm going to tell you how dirty they did me, right? So I get bailed out. Shout out to Sinful. You know what I mean? Sinful assisted me in getting bailed out. Now, my bail was $2,500. I arranged it with the bail bondsman so that I paid $1,300 up front and pay him the rest, the remaining $1,200 to total $2,500 when I get out, right? So remember, I told y'all when I got arrested in Tennessee, I was on my way to Miami. So my peoples was already in Miami. So when I get out, I shoot down to Miami and link up with my peoples and back to regular scheduled program, right? So when I get out, now I got to go to court. I'm still fighting the case in Virginia, right? They charge me with defrauding an innkeeper, which in this case, the innkeeper is a hotel, right? Now, I know I can beat this shit because they don't have no evidence on me. This case is a fucking slam dunk. All I got to do is get a paid lawyer, and this case is as good as beat, right? This is what I'm thinking in my head, right? Now, I wasn't in the worst situation when I went to jail, but I wasn't in the best situation either, right? So when I get out, I got pimping to do. So I come shoot down to Miami, and I get pimping, and everything going good. I'm getting on my feet, money cool. You know what I mean? Everything's straight, right? So now, like I said, I got to fly to Virginia and fly back to Florida every time I got court. So But I ain't missing no court dates. I have no failures to appear, and I ain't been late to court. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do while I'm out on bail, right? Now, before I got out, when I was making arrangements with the bondsman, initially he wanted 2 people to co-sign for me, right? Now, you know, when you in jail, you ain't got your contacts, so it's hard to get in touch with motherfuckers while you in jail. But I managed to get in touch with one of my partners, and this particular partner of mine, his credit was so good, he owned property, he got bomb credit score, all the shit, right? So his credit, he looked so good on paper that the bondsman let me out just based on him signing, on his signature. He didn't even want a second signature after he seen my partner, right? He was like, he good. So this is understood when I get out of jail, right? I done flew back and forth to court 3 different times. I check in with the bondsman every time I come and go. Everything cool, right? He don't never say nothing about a second cosigner. I'm paying him, you know what I mean? Everything cool. So the 4th time, right? My 4th court date, I fly up to Virginia. Now, like I said, money done got cool at this point. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, after this court date, I'm going to fire my court-appointed attorney. I'm going to hire a real attorney, and I'm going to beat this fucking case, right? So I go up there, and I just talked to the bondsman the night before. I said, yeah, I got my flight booked. I'm going to be up there first thing in the morning. He like, all right, cool. Like usual. Every time I go up there, we do the same shit. So everything was cool. He didn't say nothing about nothing, right? I walk into the court building. I'm walking up to the doors of the courtroom where my hearing is. Outside the courtroom doors is my fucking bondsman and my fucking court-appointed lawyer. These motherfuckers are sitting there chopping it up like old buddies. So that was strange to me. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is my bondsman and my lawyer sitting here chopping it up with each other? So this was strange to me, right? Now, when I walk up, first thing I do, because I owed the bondsman $750 more, right? I give him his $750. Now I don't owe the bondsman anything. He done got his $2,500 in whole, right? As soon as I get this motherfucker because he was acting all cool at first, right? Before I gave him the money. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? I shake him and the lawyer's hands, right? I give him the $750 in front of the lawyer. As soon as I get a bondsman the money, his whole demeanor changed. He say, look, man, you know, you're going to have to you're going to have to settle this case today, or I'm going to have to take you into custody. I say, what? Take me into custody for what? I've been doing everything I'm supposed to do. He said, because, man, you know, you live so far away, and, you know, sometimes it's hard to get in touch with you, and you were supposed to have a second cosigner, and you never got one. I said, come on, man, like, you never said anything about a second cosigner since I've been out until right now. But I said, it's all good. I said, I could call somebody. I can get a second cosigner right now. If you want a second cosigner, I can get one right now. Because I got my phone now. All I got to do is go in my contacts. I could get you 10 cosigners right now if you want them. You know what I mean? So he like, nah, it's too late now. You were supposed to already have it done, man. We can't do that. I'm like, wow. So I'm like, all right, well, check this out. What if I turn myself in, or what if you take me into custody and I go to jail today? Will I be able to bail out again? You know what I mean? What if I want to bail out again? And he didn't expect me to ask that, so he like was kind of stumped by that question. But the lawyer stepped in, and the lawyer was like, well, if you go into custody today, the judge is going to revoke your bond, and you're not going to have another bond, so you're just going to be stuck in jail for however long. So I'm like, these motherfuckers, man. So basically, they forced me to take this plea deal, right? It was either take this plea deal or go to jail. And man, at the time, I'm down in Miami. I'm pimping. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying life. I'm having money. I'm doing everything I want to do. Motherfucker ain't trying to go to jail right now, man. Voluntarily go to jail? Hell no. Motherfucker ain't trying to go to jail. But so I say, all right, man. So if I settle today, like what's the plea deal, man? So the plea deal was take a felony charge and 3 years probation. I'm like, oh fuck no, man. Hell no. So I didn't want to go to jail, man. Now, see, I fell for that bullshit because, like I said, the lawyer told me that if I went to jail that day, the judge was going to revoke my bond and I wasn't going to get another bond. But see, it makes sense for him to tell me that because he's thinking he going to be my lawyer this whole time. So he going to say whatever he got to say in order to get me to go for this plea deal. But the wiser me now, if I could go back, I'd have told the bondsman, fuck you. I'd have told the lawyer, fuck you. I'd have said, take me to jail. And like I said, I got money now, so I could bail myself out and I could get a lawyer. So that's what I would have did. I'd have told both of them motherfuckers, fuck you, fired the court-appointed lawyer, still went and got a paid lawyer, and that paid lawyer would have got me a new bond. I would have bailed out, and I would have fought the case, and I would have beat the case. See, so let that be a lesson to y'all, man. If y'all ever get to a situation like that, understand that them motherfucking lawyers, them bondsmen, the judge, the DA, ain't none of them motherfuckers on your side. The bondsman might act cool as a motherfucker. He might invite you to lunch. Y'all might go have drinks together. The bondsman might act cool as ain't none of them motherfuckers on your side. Especially if just ain't none of them motherfuckers on your side, man. They all together. And they all on the opposite side of you. They all against you. So, you know what I mean? And then, too, don't go for none of their tactics. Don't let the motherfuckers intimidate you into taking a motherfucking plea deal. So yeah, man. That's what ended up happening, right? So, I take the fucking plea deal. They give me 3 years probation. And I'm like, fuck, man. This is some bullshit. So that took me away from Florida, and I ended up going back to the West Coast. You know what I mean? So that was that, right? And like I said, when I left Tennessee, I'm not even knowing that I got a warrant in Tennessee, right? So I find out like almost a year later, November 2013. You know what I mean? I find out that I got a warrant in Tennessee. No, I take that back. I find out in December 2013, but the warrant, they put it out for me in November 2013, right? So like I said, I get put on probation, 3 years, right? I moved back to California, and I get my probation transferred to California. Now, when you get back then, 2013, I don't know how it is now, but back then, when you transfer probation from any other state to California, California puts you on parole. So I'm on probation out of Virginia, but I'm on California state parole when I got what's called an interstate compact, transferred it to Cali. So now I'm on California parole, right? But in my mind, I don't have no warrants anywhere. I'm good. You dig? So, of course, on parole, you're not supposed to travel outside the state. You're really not even supposed to travel outside the LA County, which is where I was living. You're not supposed to leave your county. But I'm like, man, I'm pimping. I'm cross-country pimping at that. So I'm still moving around and shit, right? Now, I go to Minnesota. It's December 2013. Like I said, Tennessee done put the warrant out for me in November 2013, but I'm not knowing. So I'm in Minnesota. I'm in Minnesota on Virginia probation that I've had transferred to California, and I got a felony warrant out of Tennessee. Ain't this some motherfucking shit? Talk about a cross-country jailbird like a motherfucker, right? So I'll never forget, I'm staying at the La Quinta in Bloomington, Minnesota, which is like down the street from the Mall of America, right? Now, I got a bitch with me, but she not working. You know what I mean? So we just staying at this room in Arlington, Virginia. I mean in Bloomington, Minnesota. But she not working out the room, so we both staying there together, right? The room is in her name, and I got my truck that's registered in my name, right? Now, the police, which a lot of y'all know this, but some of y'all don't know, but if you got a warrant, the last place you want to do is be at a hotel with a car in the parking lot that's registered in your name, and the hotel is also in your name, right? Because what they did is they surfed the parking lot, running all the license plates. They see, boom, I got a felony warrant out of Tennessee. So they go to the front desk and they asking for my name, but the room that I'm staying in is not in my name. So of course they can't figure out which room I'm staying in, right? But they seeing my car at this hotel every day. So they know it's a fugitive at this hotel, but they haven't caught me going to and from the car, right? So one particular day, it's cold as a motherfucker, snowing everywhere. I'm pulling into the motherfucking parking lot at the La Quinta, right? Me and the bitch. As I'm pulling into the parking lot, the police is pulling out the parking lot. I don't think nothing of it, right? So when they see my truck pulling in, this the truck they've been waiting for. So they see me pulling in, the motherfuckers do a U-turn, they bust a bitch and get right on me. I'm like, damn, what the fuck is this about? Like I said, I don't know that I got a warrant out of Tennessee. So they pulled me over, whatever, and they like, yeah, man, we've been trying to catch you all week, man. Where you been? I'm like, what you mean? They like, man, you got a felony warrant out of Tennessee, man. Come on, man, you going to jail. I said, what? Felony warrant out of Tennessee? They like, yeah, man, as of November 2013, man, you got a felony warrant over there. I'm like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? So these motherfuckers take me to Hennepin County Jail. And this shit is crazy, man. Because the Hennepin County Jail is so motherfucking weak. You can't order. You know, I'm a LA County baby, man. You know, it's fucked up that you got to be in jail, but at least, you know, you can have certain comforts. You know what I mean? You already know, if you go to LA County Jail, if you can't do nothing else, one thing you're going to be able to do, if you got some money on your books, you're going to be able to spread cool. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to get all your motherfucking tortillas. You're going to be able to get all your motherfucking chili lime shrimp soups. You know what I mean? Chicken soups, all that shit. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to get your summer sausage. I don't eat beef. You know what I mean? But you're going to be able to get your pickles, your motherfucking, your cheese spread, your jalapeno cheese spread, your jalapenos, your rice, your refried beans. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to spread good at LA County. Man, Hennepin County, shout out to my niggas from Minnesota, ladies from Minnesota. Shout out to anybody in the house tonight from Minnesota, man. Those of y'all from Minneapolis, Bloomington, wherever, Hennepin County, y'all know that county jail is whack as a motherfucker, man. They don't have no motherfucking real food on the canteen at the store. You know what I mean? The only thing you can really order is chips and candy. Shit that I don't even motherfucking eat. So, man, I was in that motherfucker starving. They barely feed you. They feed you like, I think they give you dinner at like 4 in the afternoon or 5 in the afternoon or some shit. You know what I mean? They don't feed you till like 5 or 6 in the morning, man. So, man, you're going to go a long ass stretch if you don't have no food. And you can't even buy no real food. They don't sell sausages. They don't sell rice and beans. They don't sell tortillas. They don't sell soups. This was like, well, it ain't the only, but it was one of the jails, you know what I mean, where you can't buy soups, man. This shit was fucked up. So, man, I'm in that whack ass jail, you know what I mean? But fortunately, unlike other places, right? See, most other places, when you got a fugitive warrant, you got to sit there and wait for that place wherever you got the warrant from to come and get you, right? So this is what I'm mentally preparing myself for, man. But what saved me in that situation was Hennepin County gives you a bond. When you have a fugitive warrant in Hennepin County, the motherfuckers give you a bond. So I was like, whew. You know what I mean? Because I was not trying to go back to that raggedy-ass Tennessee Grundy County jail, man. Grundy County is where that whole Tennessee situation was. I was not trying to go back to that raggedy-ass motherfucking jail, man. So I was able to bail out in Minnesota. Man, how about I get back to motherfucking California right before New Year's? I go check in with my PO. You know what I mean? They done already seen that I got arrested out of state. So I already know something finna happen, right? So I go check in with my PO. And he put an ankle monitor on me and gave me a curfew on motherfucking New Year's Eve, man. It's New Year's Eve, man. And I had just knocked a fresh bitch. You know what I mean? I was trying to go turn up with my hoes, man. I was trying to go do my thing, man. And this motherfucker gave me the motherfucking ankle monitor on New Year's Eve, man. I'll never forget that shit. His supervisor, my parole officer's supervisor, even was like, damn, man, you ain't gonna let him party on New Year's Eve, man? You gonna put the ankle monitor on him on New Year's Eve? He like, man, this motherfucker, he on probation out of Virginia. He getting arrested in Minnesota. He got warrants in Tennessee. He here in California 1 minute. He in this place the next. Man, hell no. Nah. This motherfucker gotta have an ankle monitor on him. Ain't no telling where he gonna be at. This motherfucker move around too much. Hell no, nah. He ain't going nowhere. He gonna be partying at the house on New Year's Eve tonight. I'm like, this punk faggot motherfucker right here, man. Man, Agent Collins. Yeah, I say his name. Oh, buster ass Agent Collins over there in Lancaster, California, man. If any of y'all ever have Agent Collins from Lancaster, California as your parole officer, tell him Jason Wilrich said, stick a motherfucking broomstick up your punk buster ass, you bitch ass nigga. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, Agent Collins, he was all right at first, man, but once I got that first violation, man, he started getting on some bullshit. But anyway, so that happened, right? And then see, for those of y'all who don't know how the interstate compact shit work, right? Now, like I said, I'm in California's custody. So basically California is like babysitting me for Virginia, right? Now, you know what I mean? Whenever you violate in California, your California PO is supposed to communicate with your Virginia PO or your whatever state you from, right? Your shit is from. So when my California PO put that ankle monitor on me, he was supposed to let my PO in Virginia know, but he never did. So in Virginia's eyes, I'm still on I never came to check in. I never answered for, you know what I mean, that violation of getting arrested out of state. So they thinking they call it absconding. Virginia think I'm absconding this whole time, right? So I'll never forget, man. It's April 11th, 2014, right? This like 4 months later or 3 months some change later, right? I'm helping my mom and my uncle move some shit into my mom's storage, right? My PO called me. And he like, yeah, man, I need you to come in and check in for the month or whatever. You know what I mean? He tried to make it sound real cool, but I already know how this shit go, man. When your PO give you a random call, man, you finna go to jail. I already know how that shit go. But I didn't know what it was about because I've been doing everything I'm supposed to do at this point, and I got a fucking ankle monitor on. I can't do too much. I got to be in the house at 10 o'clock at night, and I can't leave until 5 in the morning. Yeah, that's what it was, from 10 to 5. You know what I mean? And then they changed it later on from 1 to 5. But anyway, and my uncle, You know, he an OG street nigga, convict, all that. He was right there when my PO called me. So when he seen that shit, he was like, uh-oh. he was like, it ain't looking good, huh? I said, hell nah, Unc, man. They probably gonna take me to jail. So I go up there to the parole office, man, and sure enough, the motherfuckers take me to jail. And I'm like, what y'all taking me in for? He said, Virginia wants you, man. I don't know what it is, man, but Virginia wants you, so you about to get extradited back to Virginia. I'm like, what? I'm like, for what, man? So, like I said, I don't even know why Virginia want me, but I come to find out Virginia want me because this buster ass nigga Agent Collins, when he put the ankle monitor on me, he didn't let Virginia know, like, yo, he got out of jail in Minnesota. He came back to California, you know what I mean? And as you know, the punishment for his violation, I'm putting him on the ankle monitor. So, you know what I mean? This violation is supposed to be settled, right? So basically, I got punished twice for the same thing. For one violation, I got punished twice, you know what I mean? So I'm in LA County now, right? I go to motherfucker 2800. Now, at this time, this is, like I said, April 2014. You know what I mean? I'm in the, I probably told y'all part of this story, this part of the story in my LA County jail tales, right? But, so I ain't gonna go too far into that. But I'm in 2800, and you know, it's crazy because 2800 is the trial module in LA County. So, everybody in 2800, these niggas is fighting murders, multiple homicides, armed robbery, assault with a deadly weapon, man, all kind of, you know, shit that garners a whole bunch of time. You know what I mean? The nigga facing the least time in there is facing like 10 years. You know what I mean? Motherfucker get 15. I remember one time, you know what I mean? The fuck was dude's name from Norwalk? He was from neighborhood Norwalk 13. The fuck was dude's name, man? His OG was Snoop. You know what I mean? Shout out to Snoop from neighborhood Norwalk 13. Damn, the little homie, fuck, I forget his name, but he had got like 17 years for an armed robbery. You know what I mean? And when I never forget when he came in from court, because we was in the same cell. They got 10-man cells in there, right? He come back from court, and he like, yeah, man, they gave me 17. And everybody was like praising him. They like, oh man, you got love. Woo woo. And you know, see, for those of y'all that ain't convicts, y'all probably wouldn't understand, but you know, he had prison priors for one, and then two, anybody who know in California, in LA County, if you know anything about Norwalk Court, Norwalk is one of the foulest courts. You know what I mean? They be hanging niggas in that motherfucking Norwalk. So when he came back from court with 17 years, everybody's like, oh man, you got love, homie. But damn, I'm mad I can't think of dude's name. And it's on the tip of my damn tongue too. Fuck. Damn, I'm mad I can't. But anyway. Raider G, 2800 is a unit in LA County, right? Now, LA County has different floors, right? Different modules. They got the 2,000 floor, the 3,000 floor, the 4,000 floor, the 5,000 floor. Those is all, well, at least at this time, they always changing the shit. But back then, all of them was general population. The 6,000 floor was the hospital floor. That's for motherfuckers with this missing a leg or missing an arm or got a broken arm or leg or some shit like that. You'll go to the 6,000 floor. Back at that time, I don't know how it is now. As far as I know, it ain't no 7,000 or 8,000 floor. And then a 9,000 floor at that time was the trustee floor. So if you was a trustee, you go to the 9,000 floor. But I was in 2,800, right? And A18 reputable. Yeah, 2800 is the floor or level of the jail. Yeah, it's on the 2000 floor. You know, they got 2400, 2300, 25, 6, 7, 8. You know, they got, that's a 2000 floor. You know what I mean? And 2800 is just one of the modules on the 2000 floor, right? So, like I said, they had me in there with everybody who was facing like serious time. Motherfuckers was coming home with hundreds of years, coming back from court with life sentences and all type of shit. You know what I mean? And they had me in there waiting to be extradited. You know what I mean? So it was just weird that they had me in there. But you know, I didn't have no problems, man. I've been blessed. Whenever I go to jail, I don't be having no problems. Like, would you believe, man, I done been to so many jails across country. I done did so much time in jail. And I've been to prison and all that. I have never had a fight in jail or prison ever. You dig? I just been blessed, man. Not to say that I'm a tough guy or that anybody is scared of me or that I punked out to any. I ain't never punked out, ran from a fight, turned down a fade. None of that. I just been blessed. I ain't never had no fights. You know what I mean? The closest thing to a fight is like a riot will jump off. You know what I mean? Like, I'll never forget one time I was in the shower. You know what I mean? And the blacks and the essays get into it while I'm coming out the motherfucking shower. I got a towel and some motherfucking shower shoes on. And it's going down. Niggas is in there. You know, anybody who done been in the LA County jail, no, this is on the 9,000 floor. I think I told y'all this story too on my LA County jail tales. But if you done been in LA County and it's a riot going on, you feel and hear a bunch of stomping on the floor, a bunch of boom, 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 boom. You hear a bunch of feet stomping around and shit. Motherfuckers jumping off bunks, motherfuckers is running, all type of mayhem is going on, you know what I mean? So, but that shit was over as soon as it started, you know what I mean? But, other than that, like I said, I just been blessed, man. I ain't never had to get into no fight or none of that shit, you dig? So, but yeah, man, so I wait there for 30 days and 2,800. Then motherfucking Virginia come get me. And I get extradited back to Virginia, back to that super nice ass jail. So I go from a motherfucking terrible jail to a nice ass motherfucking jail. You know what I mean? And so that was my first time. No, that was my second time. Because like I said, the first time was from Tennessee to Virginia. This is my second time being extradited to Virginia, but my first violation on probation or parole, whatever you want to call it, right? So, man, do you know I get extradited to Tennessee one time, right? And this shit was so motherfucking crazy. So I go to Virginia from LA County. You know what I mean? The judge give me time served once I finally go to court, because I was in Virginia in the county jail waiting to go to court, I think for like 3 weeks or some shit like that, 2 or 3 weeks. Altogether, I did almost 2 months. You know what I mean? And then, you know, or like 50 days, or 51 days or some shit like that. I go to court, the judge give me time served. You know what I mean? I go back to California. I still got this fucking ankle monitor on me. And, you know, me and my PO had got into it about that. Because I'm like, yo, man, like, this me being extradited and me doing all this jail time, this was because you didn't let my PO in Virginia know that you violated me. Blue Hunted. Good looking with the $10 holler. Blessings from Blue Hunted. Dig that. I appreciate you. Blessings to you too, Blue Hunted. So I'm like, yeah, man, you know, the whole reason why I went to jail basically is because you fucked up. And he like, well, you know, that might be true, man, but whatever the case, man, you be moving around too much, man, so you gonna keep this ankle monitor on, man. I said, you can't do that, man. Like, you basically violate me for some shit that I already was violated for, man. Like, how you gonna keep this ankle monitor? But anyway, nonetheless, he kept the ankle monitor on me, right? But I guess to, like, try to make it cooler, like I said, my curfew had been moved from 10 at night, having to be in the house at 10, to having to be in the house at 1 in the morning. I had to be in the house at 1 in the morning, and I couldn't leave till 6 in the morning, right? Paul Lang, excuse me, good looking with the $10 holla. Thank you again, Freeze. Thank you as well, bro. As always, you know I appreciate you. Yeah, so I'm back in California, out of Virginia jail. I got the ankle monitor on me still, right? I got to be at the house at 1 in the morning every night. Before I continue, I'm going to go ahead and take me a small love break. You know what I mean? If you haven't put some love in your body, please do so for a pimp right now, you know what I mean? And wipe your feet off at the door if you haven't already, you know? Go ahead, hit that thumbs up button, that like button one time, please, and thank you. Yeah, so like I say, I'm back in Cali. I'm pimping, but I got a 1 a.m. curfew, right? So I'll never forget. I'm leaving Ontario on my way to Lancaster. And I got to be at the house in Lancaster by 1 a.m. Now, it's like 12 something, and I leave Ontario, and I take the 15 up to the 138, which is the Pear Blossom Highway, and I'm flying. You know what I mean? You know that 138, I'm flying down that motherfucker trying to make it back to to Lancaster, right? Now, the 138, when you first get on it, you in San Bernardino County, and when you make it to like Palmdale, or not even Palmdale, when you make it to like Little Rock, you in LA County, right? Hey, when they reputable, you already know. Yeah, that 138, 2 lanes, right? So I'm flying down to 138. San Bernardino County sheriffs pulled me over, right? And man, I was like this fucking close. When I say I was this close to the county line. I almost made it to LA County. But they stopped me in San Bernardino County on their side, right? I'm like, damn. So I'm like, all right, man, I'm going to get a ticket or something, you know what I mean? And I'm going to explain to my PO in the morning, like, yo, I didn't make it to the house by 1 a.m. because I got pulled over by the police. This is what I'm thinking in my head, right? Now, I know that I got this warrant still out of Tennessee, right? I still ain't answered this Tennessee warrant, right? But I done been pulled over numerous times, and they say, yeah, you got a felony warrant out of Tennessee, but Tennessee don't want you. Reason why Tennessee don't never want me is because that broke-ass, punk-ass, hole-in-the-wall-ass town, they don't have enough. This is how poor of a town they are. County they are, Grundy County, Tennessee. They couldn't afford to extradite me. That's why they never extradited me there. So I'm already knowing they're going to tell me I got a warrant in Tennessee, but I ain't worried about it because I'm thinking that they not going to come get me, right? So they take my license, you know, registration, all that shit. They come back. They like, yeah, man, you got a felony warrant out of Tennessee, and they saying they want you. So I literally started laughing. I said, nah, man, you playing games, man. They don't want you. So the officer started smiling. He was like, nah, man, they said they want you. So we got to take you in. I said, are you serious, man? He like, yeah. I'm like, wow, I can't believe this shit, man. That little piece of shit ass town actually gonna come extradite me. So I'm like, man, all this motherfucking jail. I just can't get away from fucking jail, man. One way or another. I'm violating probation. I'm violating parole. I'm getting extradited here. I'm getting extradited there. I'm like, fuck. And it all started from being around a sucker ass nigga. I want y'all to pay attention to that. All of this shit that I'm going through that I'm telling y'all, it all started from the bad company of one sucker ass nigga. You know what I mean? Now, of course, you know, I was doing wrong, you know, so it was a high likelihood that I would have brought that shit on myself eventually. But, you know what I mean? I'd rather bring it on myself than, you know, put the power into the hands of a sucker ass nigga. A sucker ass nigga will cost you so fucking much in life if you're not careful. You dig? But that sucker ass nigga in Arlington, Virginia, who caused all that shit with that hotel room, that was the snowball effect. That's where the snowball started. And it ended up me going through all this shit, being extradited 3-4 times, going to all these different jails, having all these different warrants, getting arrested in all these different places. It all started from being around that one suck ass nigga for one night. One night cost me 4 years of probation, bail fees, lawyer fees, all type of flying back, because every time I get extradited to Virginia, I got to make my own way back to the West Coast. I got to fly back every time. All that shit started from one night being around sucker ass nigga. So make note of that. Stay sucker free at all costs. You dig? So I go to Arizona County Jail. I mean, I say Arizona County. I go to San Bernardino County Jail. And I was right there by Adelanto, so they take me to Adelanto first. Then they transfer me to West Valley. West Valley is like the main county jail in San Bernardino. You know what I mean? I forget what the name of the fucking unit was I was at in there. But this is the quickest that I ever seen anybody get extradited. That little punk ass town in Tennessee, them motherfuckers came and got me within 6 days. I was in San Bernardino County for 6 days and they came and got me. Now, you know, unfortunately, I'm a veteran at being extradited. You know what I mean? I'm a veteran extraditee. A OG extraditee. That's me. Freeze with a capital P at the END. UDIG. But every time I've been extradited and every time I've been locked up with somebody who gets extradited, they always make a motherfucker wait at least 20-something days. You dig? These motherfuckers came and got me in 6 days, right? And this was the most fucked up. You know, I'm used to Virginia. Like I said, Arlington County, they one of the richest counties in the country. So when they extradite a motherfucker, they gonna fly you. They gonna put you on a plane. You're gonna be on American Airlines or Delta or some shit like that. Now they gonna have you handcuffed, and all the civilians is gonna see you in handcuffs and shit like that. If the officers is nice, they'll put a sweater or something. They'll put you in some long sleeve shit or something to you know, hide your handcuffs and shit like that. But basically, you're gonna be handcuffed, but they're gonna put you on a plane with civilians. You know what I mean? So you're gonna be able to, you know, it's fucked up. But when you've been in jail and shit like that, you know what I mean, and you getting around civilians, you know what I mean, you get to do shit like smell perfume, you know what I mean, see women, all that type of shit. You dig? But you're gonna be on a plane with civilians. This motherfucking Tennessee shit, what they did, right? They hired a third party extradition company to come and get me, right? Now this company who came and got me, they based out of Florida, but what they do is they travel around the country, around the whole US in a van and pick people up and extradite them to other cities and states. And the motherfuckers just stay on the road because they might leave Florida and go to Georgia to get somebody and take that person in Georgia to motherfucking North Carolina, but they might get a call in Texas to extradite somebody in Texas to New York. So guess what they gonna do? That motherfucker that's going from Georgia to North Carolina, he not gonna go straight from Georgia to North Carolina. He gonna go to Texas, and then they gonna go to North Carolina, and then they gonna go to New York. But that motherfucker from New York, before he make it to New York, when they on the way to North Carolina, they gonna get a motherfucking call in Ohio to take somebody from Ohio to motherfucking California. So that motherfucker that's getting picked up in Ohio, first of all, the New York motherfucker, he gonna have to go to Ohio before he go to New York. The Ohio motherfucker, he gonna have to go to New York before he go to California. It's just a fucked up cycle that you get wrapped up in, right? So these motherfuckers come and get me, and for some reason, they didn't have my clothes, so they had to give me some loaner clothes. These clothes stank like a motherfucker. These clothes smell like they belong to a wino or something, but they just gave me some clothes. It was in a box. I had to put somebody else's jeans and button up plaid t-shirt or plaid short sleeve shirt on. The shit stank. It was fucked up. And I had to sit in the van for 7 days, right? So let me tell you the conditions of this van, right? Now, the van is like a regular, like, old school van, right? And the van has a steel partition in the middle of it, right? It got a steel wall in the middle of it. Blue Hunted, once again, good looking with the $5 holla. Keep kicking that game, P. Indeed, you already know, man. We're going to kick this shit around. You dig? But this van got a steel partition in the middle of it, right? A steel wall. On one side of the van, they got the men. On the other side of the van, they got the females, right? Now, you know, y'all already know, Freeze done been shot in the leg back in the day. So Freeze got a fucked up knee, right? So I'm in this motherfucking van. You know, the height of the van, it's like, imagine me standing up in this car right now. I'm not gonna be able to stand all the way up. The shit goes like a little bit past my waist, right? So in order to stretch my legs, I gotta stand up and bend over. But the motherfucking space from the wall to the middle of the van where the steel wall is, from one side to the other, I only got like probably 3 feet of space. Not even, like, probably less than 3 feet of space, right? And so I can't bend my legs, and my leg is fucked up. You know, if I sit for too long without being able to bend my leg, that shit cramps out of this world, and that shit is so fucking painful. Like, it's crazy. So I'm in this van like this, right? And these motherfuckers, I think I told y'all about this part of the story, but they feed us 3 times a day, each time off the dollar menu at McDonald's, right? So they feed you 2 items off the dollar menu in the morning for breakfast, 2 items off the dollar menu for lunch, 2 items off the dollar menu for dinner. So they feeding you with $6 a day, $6 and some change, right? Plus tax. They feeding you throughout the whole day off of $6. And I'm already knowing that they budget is probably way more than that. But anyway, you know what I mean? So they basically starving the motherfucker. Me, you know, everybody else, they get dollar hamburgers, but I don't eat beef, so they get me 2 spicy McChickens or spicy chickens or whatever they call, right? So 2 spicy chickens for breakfast, 2 for lunch, 2 for dinner, right? And they only stop every 6 hours, right, to get gas. And, you know, if it's lunchtime or dinner or whatever, if it's time to eat, we eat. But they only stop every 6 hours, right? And I think it's every 12 hours they'll stop at a jail, like whatever jail they picking us up at, or they picking somebody up at, they stop there and they'll house us at that jail so we could shower and sleep. You know what I mean? At that jail for so many hours, and then we get back on the road, right? So it was so fucked up because the bitches on the female side, it was 3 females, right, that was getting extradited with us. 2 of them started their period, you know, like at separate times, but it might be like an hour or 2 into the trip. Mind you, they don't stop for 6 hours. So if it's an hour or 2 in and this bitch start bleeding, she start her period, you know what I mean? They not stopping to get the bitch no tampons. Even when they do stop, they still not gonna get her no tampons or anything like that. They just pass some motherfucker through the crack of the wall. They pass some napkins or some paper towels back there and tell the bitch to figure it out. And mind you, we back there with the motherfucking the chain, the shackles around the waist, and the cuffs is like, you cuffed with both of your hands to your shit like this, And we got the cuffs around the ankles too. So imagine a female, she cuffed like this, you know what I mean, with the shit around the waist, and her hands is like this, and she's starting her period, and they give her some tissue and tell her to figure it out. Hey, that shit was fucked up. Like Ken say, that's inhumane like a motherfucker, right? So, and then they went and got this white boy. I forget where he was from and where they picked him up at. Where'd they pick him? I think they picked him up in like either Salt Lake City or Denver or something like. No, not Denver. Well, I think we did stop in Denver. We stopped in Colorado Springs too. But they picked him up in one of them places. This white boy was like 6'9", 350 pounds. He was big as fuck. And they barely was able to fit him in the back of that van. I felt so bad for him. That white boy was big as a motherfucker. And he sat back there for days in that shit. So, man, I felt so bad for him. He was big as a motherfucker. Like I said, he was like 6'9", 350 pounds at least. Probably bigger than that. But he was a big ass dude. And they had him squeezed in back there. He barely fit. And that motherfucker had to be in that shit for days. But anyway, so I was in that van. And like I said, I didn't go straight from San Bernardino to Grundy County, Tennessee. I had to go to, I think it was Reno, Nevada. From Reno, Nevada to Ukiah, California, which is in Northern California, to Salem, Oregon, to Bend, Oregon, to motherfucking Billings, Montana, Idaho Falls, Idaho, Salt Lake City, Denver, Colorado Springs, Jackson City or Jefferson City, Missouri, shit. We went so many motherfucking places. East St. Louis. We went somewhere in Arkansas. I can't remember where in Arkansas we went. We went to all these places before Tennessee. You did. So it was crazy. It was a crazy ass trip. But like I said, I was in that motherfucker for 7 days. Fucked up. You dig? So then I get back to Tennessee, and so let me tell y'all about the first time. Like I said, when they pulled me over in Tennessee 2 days after Thanksgiving, 2012, right? And then I'll tell y'all about this time when I got extradited there, the second time. But the first time I went there, okay, the jail, right? The jail only houses 40 men and 20 females. So a total of 60 inmates, right? And that's when it's overcrowded. It's really supposed to house less motherfuckers than that. But this jail was so fucking nasty and old and run down. I think they finally ended up, the jail was so fucked up, it had been condemned like 2 or 3 times, but they didn't have another jail to house their inmates. So you know what I mean? Like they just kept that motherfucker open even after the state condemned it. It was, or the federal government, whoever condemned it. They kept that motherfucker open. But it was fucked up, this jail in Tennessee, right? Grundy County. And out of these 40 men, I'm the only non-white individual in this whole entire jail, right? Out of the people that work there, out of the inmates, I'm the only non-white person there the majority of the time I was there. But when I first got there, it was another brother that was there, another black dude. He left like 2 days after I came, though. But when I get there, they got a general population area where the 40 guys is. You know what I mean? That shit is, the cells was fucked up. The little day room shit was fucked up. It was motherfuckers sleeping all in the day room. Cause like I said, it was overcrowded. Motherfuckers sleeping on the floor in the day room, all this shit, right? But they didn't put me in there. Well, when I first got there, they put me in there, but they hurried up and took me out because the black dude who was there before me, he got into it with a white boy, beat the white boy up, and then the rest of the white boys jumped him. But when they get back to when the police come, the whole jail, all the 40 dudes, they all tell the same story, that the black dude raped the white boy and shoved the broomstick up his ass and all this old shit. And from that, they end up hitting him with some other charges. But I say all of that to say, they put him in their little makeshift PC cell, which was really their drunk tank. They turned the drunk tank into a PC cell, right? So when I first got there, they put me in a little general population area, and I'll never forget when the COs was walking me in, everything got quiet, and all the white boys just looking at me and shit, and I couldn't see which one it was, but somebody in the crowd was like, "Oh shit, we got us another nigger." You know what I mean? And then this one white boy he was all right. His name was Big Country, fat redhead white boy, ginger white boy. He was like, "Hey man, where you from?" I was like, "I'm from California." First thing he was like, "Oh, you from where they got that good crystal?" You know what I mean? I think I told y'all this part of the story before, but he felt like he just met the connect, like he was gonna be plugged in with the crystal meth in California, right? But he got excited. But then they put me in the little drunk tank, which is their PC area, right? So I'm in there with this other black dude and two other white boys who they ain't no good, so they can't go into the general pop neither, right? So they got the four of us in this drunk tank, right? And you know, it's a little small cell with one toilet. You know what I mean? It's concrete all over the whole cell. They ain't got no beds. They got like an area where you could sit, and that's where we would lay down and sleep. Two would sleep there because there was enough room for two to sleep up there and two to sleep on the floor. But it was so fucked up. This motherfucking cell, do you know we couldn't even flush the toilet ourselves? They had to flush the toilet from outside. You know what I mean? So it was a little flap that you flip open to talk to whoever out there, and we would have to get the trustees' attention and tell them we need a flush. So motherfucker take a shit in there, you flip the flap over, "Trustee, I need a flush." The trustee come and flush the toilet, right? But the problem with that, not being able to flush your own damn toilet, they lock the jail down at 10 o'clock. So when they lock everything down at 10, they put the trustee in his cell at 10 o'clock. So it's no trustee after 10 o'clock until like 6 in the morning, right? Now, at that point, if you need a flush, the CO is supposed to flush it for you, right? But the CO, that motherfucker gonna be on the computer, on Facebook, fucking around all night, watching movies and shit on the computer. And you know what I mean? You flip that flap open and say, "CO, I need a flush." He'll be like, "All right, I'll get back to you. I'll come do it in a minute." That come do it in a minute turn into an hour, 2 hours. You flip it open again and remind them, "All right, I'll be over there in a minute." That's another hour, 2 hours. You tell them a third time, "Man, if you keep bothering me about that shit, man, I ain't giving you no flush." So either way it go, you ain't getting no damn flush, right? And it's so fucked up because they feed us at like 6 or 7 o'clock. And, you know, after a motherfucker eat, you gonna have to take a shit in a few hours. So, man, motherfuckers is in there. You know, it done been times where we held our shit all night, but sometimes you can't hold it. You just gotta fucking go. And we shitting on top of each other and all that. That shit was fucked up. Just imagine being somewhere in a cell and it's bad enough that you gotta shit in front of these two other dudes, and, you know, one of them just took a shit and you got to shit on top of his shit, and then the other dude, he got to shit on top of yours and the other dude's shit. It's just fucked up. And you can't get no flush. The cell just stanking all motherfucking night till 6 in the morning when the trustee come. Hey, fucked up shit, man. I tell motherfuckers all the time, that's the worst jail that I ever been to. You know what I mean? LA County is fucked up. You know, it's some fucked up shit going on in LA County for sure. And it's dangerous as a motherfucker and all that. But, hey, that Grundy County jail in Tennessee, Worst jail I've been to by far. And then, right, so like I said, when they arrested me that first time off the Virginia warrant, the jail is so fucking, it's such a small ass town. They don't even have no commissary. They don't have no books. They don't even have a store. Like, you can't even buy anything there, right? So if you need soap, deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, underwear, clothes, envelope, stamps, writing paper, pen, if you need any of that type of shit, yo, people got to bring it to you. They got to go to Walmart. It's a Walmart like 30, 40 minutes away from there. Yo, people got to go to that Walmart, get you that shit. They get you food and shit too, you know what I mean? And then they got to bring it to you. But by me not being from that motherfucker, I didn't have nobody to do that for me. But anyway, what I ended up doing, I had one of my peoples, she came down, and, I released my car to her because they impounded my car. I released my car to her. And once she got my car, she went to Walmart, got me with all the shit that I needed, and then brought it to me. You dig? But I was just blessed in that situation. Like the other black dude who was there that left 2 days after I came, he was in that motherfucker for a year and some change, and he was from Illinois. He's from Chicago. So he done had nobody in that motherfucker. You know what I mean? He didn't have nobody to bring him shit. So he was in that motherfucker for a whole year and some change, fucked up. And he came down there. He came down there fucking with this broad. And then started hustling, selling dope with the broad. And then, you know what I mean, ended up getting caught up. Motherfuckers told on him. All this old shit. And that's how he got caught up down there. But, oh yeah, so like I said, not only do they not have no commissary, they don't have any books. You know how normally when you get arrested, they put your money on your books? This little raggedy ass jail didn't have no books to put your money on. So what they do is so this is what they did with me, right? In handcuffs, they drove me to the bank. The bank was like right down the street. They drove me to the bank. They took me through the drive-through of the bank. I got arrested with like $600 and something, right? Cash. They had me put my money in a money order in these motherfucking handcuffs. I had to sign in the drive-through. They send the money order through the thing. You got to sign the shit and all that. You know what I mean? So I put my $600 and something in a money order, and then they took me back to jail and they put this fucking money order in a safe. You know what I mean? A safe that really anybody could have went in that motherfucker and took that shit if they wanted to. This shit was so motherfucking crazy. This shit was like the motherfucking Mayberry from hell. You know what I mean? Like Andy Griffin, but from hell. You dig? This shit was crazy. So, and then this jail is so fucked up, right? Let me tell you how fucked up this motherfucking county is. It's motherfuckers that was in that jail that had been in there for a year and a half and hadn't even been arraigned. They hadn't been to court not one time. They just got arrested, thrown in this jail, and they just sat there for a year and a half. Other motherfuckers sat there for 6 months, 5 months, 8 months, 9 months, a year and 2 months, all this old type of shit, right? And ain't never been to court. You know, then motherfuckers, it's like they take certain motherfuckers to court when they feel like it, and other motherfuckers, they just don't take them to court, right? And, that's illegal. But these motherfuckers they all some, bunch of hillbilly motherfuckers that's from this town, and that's the way shit been all their life, so they don't know nothing else, so they think that's how shit is supposed to go. But, anywhere else, what's supposed to happen, you're supposed to get arraigned within 72 hours, and if you don't get arraigned within 72 hours of being in jail, being arrested, they supposed to drop the case. They give you what's called a DA reject. The DA reject the shit, and you get out of jail. But not Grundy County, Tennessee. The motherfuckers is just going to keep you in there for as long as they want to keep you in there. It was just fucked up. So like I said, I was in that raggedy motherfucker for 30 days. or no, 20-something days. Then Virginia came and got me. So then, like I said, fast forward back to when I'm in the motherfucking, this little fucked up ass van for 7 days. From San Bernardino, I make it to Tennessee 7 days later, Grundy County, right? Back in this raggedy motherfucker. It's motherfuckers, cause what? How long had it been? Cause I went in there the first time, 2012. Yeah, this was like 2 years later that I went in that motherfucker and got extradited for that shit. And there was motherfuckers that had been in there that whole time, still in that same raggedy ass, fucked up ass jail. Man, and then, so now I'm not there waiting to be extradited. Now I'm not there waiting for somebody to come and get me. Now I'm there fighting a case, right? So, you know, I'm waiting to go to court and shit, right? Now they about to, cause you know I'm a nigga for one, and then two, I'm not even from around there, so they gonna do me any kind of way, right? So I've been in that motherfucker for, I had been in there for like 2.5 weeks, right? And they still ain't arraigned me or none of it. I ain't been to court, none of this shit, right? Like they supposed to do, right? So what ended up happening, my peoples went and got me a lawyer, you know what I mean? They paid the lawyer, and then once I had a lawyer that was paid, the lawyer had to go down to the court and put in for me to get arraigned, and then I went to court, and when I went to court, he also put in a motion for me to get a bond because I didn't have no bond, no nothing. So it was fucked up. I'm in this jail for like 2 weeks and 2.5, then 3 weeks. I ain't been arraigned. I ain't got no bond. They just doing me dirty as a motherfucker. So like I said, once I get that lawyer, the lawyer put in for me to get an arraignment and all that shit, and he put in for me to get a bond. Then I finally got bailed out. You dig? So that shit was fucked up. Ken say, how did you get your hair cut? Yeah, when I was in that jail, I didn't get no haircut in that motherfucker. I didn't even have a mirror in that motherfucker. I didn't have no mirror, no none of that shit. You know what I mean? I tried, because you know, anybody who done been in jail in LA County, y'all know, in that motherfucker, we make mirrors out the inside of a chip bag in a pomade can. You know what I mean? In a rubber, or not, if you ain't got a rubber band, use some string from a sheet or something, or a t-shirt or whatever. But that's how we made mirrors in LA County. But in Tennessee, I didn't have none of them materials, you know what I mean? So I didn't have no mirror in there or nothing. Yeah, it was fucked up. So yeah, I don't think I shaved, or I definitely didn't get no haircut. It was just fucked up. So yeah. But man, it's 260 of y'all in here, and only 149 of y'all done wiped your feet off at the door when you came to a pimp's domain, man. Do a pimp a favor, man. When you come into my domain, wipe your feet off at the door. What I mean by that is, hit that thumbs up, hit that like button one time. You dig? Yeah. So, A1A Reputable say, make LA County sound like the Marriott. For real, man. For real, they did. That's, man, that shit was so fucked up. Oh, Raider, yeah, I was saying make a mirror. A mirror. Yeah. Yeah, like eggs say Confederate on top. Indeed, you already know. Ken say, you ever been locked up down here in Texas? Nah, fortunately, I ain't never been locked up in Texas. I'd have been pulled over out there several times. I had tickets out there. They suspended my driving privilege out there one time, even though I ain't never had a license. And then, you know, I had let my, this way back in the day, I had let my California license get suspended, and California wouldn't give me my shit back until I straightened it out with Texas. I got pulled over in Kerrville, Texas on the 10. and I had to pay Kerrville, Texas for a fucking speeding ticket, which is really a setup because the place where I got the speeding ticket, like, okay, say you driving on level ground and the speed limit is 60, no, the speed limit is 70, right? You driving on level ground. Over there where I got this ticket at, you riding on level ground, then it's a decline. You know it's a decline, and if you don't put your foot on the brake, naturally you're going to speed up. So the speed limit is 70. You get on this decline and you speed up, and right at the bottom of the decline, the speed limit hurry up and change to 65. You know what I mean? And they be waiting to cut over there to get motherfuckers. They done changed it since then because I done drove through there since then. It ain't like that no more, but back then it was. Mike Lowry, as always, good looking with the $20 holla. You dig? Right, yeah, vice versa. I think that's near San Antonio. It is. It's close to San Antonio for sure. It ain't too far from there. Yeah. Yeah, so but nah, fortunately I ain't never been locked up in Texas. Of course, I've been locked up in California. I've been locked up in Arizona. I've been locked up in Vegas, Nevada. I've been locked up in Ohio. I think I told y'all that story. Tennessee and Virginia, obviously. Minnesota, obviously. That's 7. I think I'm missing some shit, but I can't remember. I'd have been locked up too many times, man. But fortunately, I haven't been locked up in some years now. Knock on wood. You dig? After all them times of getting locked up in that motherfucking being on probation for them 4 years out of Virginia, you know, that probation shit really set me up to get locked up a whole bunch of damn times. It was a tough situation, but I was blessed to make it out of that. You dig? But yeah. Born Supreme say, clearly all PDs dislike the ism. Which PD pull the most dulos though? As far as against the pimping, shit, that would have to be between Las Vegas Metro and, you know, all the motherfuckers in Orange County. You know what I mean? Orange County is fucked up. Woo Woo say, do you be in the Long Beach car in jail? Yeah, you know what I mean? Because see, especially in the penitentiary, right? See, of course, you know, anybody who know anything about Long Beach, it's nothing but Crips. As far as the black gangs and even the Asian gangs, well, Asian gangs, you got TRG, which ain't, you know, affiliated with Bloods and Crips. They call themselves gray rags. But aside from TRG, all the Asian gangs, the Polynesian gangs, the black gangs, it's Crip City. It ain't nothing but Crips in Long Beach, right? Crips and essays, but as far as blacks, it's nothing but Crips, right? But the majority of them Crip gangs in Long Beach don't get along with each other. They all enemies and shit, right? You know what I mean? Like, the majority of the Crip gangs in Long Beach, James, you already know, James Hudson, you already know the whole city, them motherfuckers is beefing all over the city with each other, right? But when you get to prison, all that shit comes to an end. And everybody ride with each other. It's like you say, woo woo, the Long Beach car. You know what I mean? So if you in prison and you from Long Beach, you with the Long Beach car, whether you from Insane or 20s or Mac Mafia or Brick Boys or West Coast Rolling 80s, Four Corner Block, Old Hood, Two Ends, Sex Money Murder, what, no matter where you from, Insane 20, any of that shit, if you from Long Beach, whether you're a non-affiliate, which means you're not affiliated with any gangs, if you are from the city of Long Beach and you go to prison, everybody from Long Beach ride together. And like Woo said, it's the Long Beach car. You dig? That's what we call it, the Long Beach car. Everybody ride together. You know what I mean? That's just like Compton, right? Compton is the same way. They got the CC Riders. Now, Compton You know, they got a whole bunch of Compton Crips that don't get along with each other. You know what I mean? The Santana blocks in the South Side, Santana block Compton Crip, South Side Compton Crip, they worst enemies. They don't get along with each other. You got a whole bunch of other Compton Crip gangs that don't fuck with each other. Yeah, A1A reputable. You already know the hub and the dub. What the hub and the dub is because the hub is Compton, Hub City. So when you say the hub, you talking about the CC Riders, the Compton Crips, right? Hub City Comptons, the hub. The dub is Watts. You know what I mean? Watts is all the Watts Crips. Grape Street Watts, Fudge Town, Mafia Crip, Front Street Watts, Back Street Watts, Hat Gang Watts, Compton Avenue, 10 Line Gangsters, PJ Watts, all them different Watts Crips, who a lot of them don't get along with each other. You know what I mean? That's just like PJ Watts and Grape Street Watts. They don't get along with each other. But when they go to prison, all the Compton Crips and all the Watts Crips, it's the hub and dub car, the hub and the dub. You dig? That's they all together. You know what I mean? And you hear them doing their calls. You know, the CC Riders, they call us Herb. You know, they gonna herb each other. You know what I mean? Herb, what's up, Herb? And the Watts call is ooh. You know what I mean? So if you hear motherfuckers say ooh, that's the Watts niggas calling each other. You know what I mean? So the hub and the dub, you dig? Then you got the Gangster Crip car, which is the Trays, which is all the gangs that's associated with A-Tray gangsters. You know what I mean? Broadway gangsters, Avalon gangsters, Pomona Trey 5-7, all the way to motherfucking Playboy gangsters in West LA to all the gangster Crips from all over. You know what I mean? The Trouble gangsters. You know what I mean? All the gangster Crips. That's the Trays. You know what I mean? They got the Trays car. You know what I mean? They all run with each other. Then all the neighborhood Crips, they all fuck with each other. You know, the hundreds, the 90s, the 60s, the 50s, the 40s. You know what I mean? Linwood neighborhood, West Covina neighborhood, all the neighborhood Crips. You know what I mean? East Coast, they part of the neighborhood car. All the neighborhoods, they got the neighborhood car. You know what I mean? James Hussey, he say Franklin Square. Yeah, watch Franklin Square. That's a real small Crip gang in Watts. You know what I mean? They part of the hub and dub car too. You dig? Shout out to Franklin Square. But Born Supreme say the SA's cars are also based on their region area. Yeah, like as far as the SA cars, you know, they got the San Fernando Valley car. You know, they all fuck with each other. They got the Harbor area car, HA, which the HA car is Long Beach, Torrance, Wilmington, San Pedro, Carson. Yeah, Carson is a part of the Harbor area car. You know what I mean? That's all the HA Harbor area car. Then they got the SELA, SELA, which is Southeast LA. They got the Southeast LA car with the SAs, and the Southeast LA cars like Hawaiian Gardens, all the different Norwalk gangs. What's the name of that damn? La Mirada. You know, all that shit over there. You know what I mean? That's the Southeast LA car. So yeah, you know, like he said, the SAs, they got their different cars and shit too. Like Born Supreme say. Go Young DJ say Hoovers run with gangsters too. No, the Hoovers used to be part of the gangster car back in the day. When they was Crips. Then obviously, you know, anybody from California know the Hoovers is criminals now. They denounced they Crippin'. All of them except for the 5 Deuce Hoovers. The 5 Deuce Hoovers is still Crips. And I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if the 5 Deuce Hoovers still claim the gangster car or not. I don't know if they still claim trays or not. I kind of believe they do, but I'm not exactly sure. One thing I do know is in jail, all the Hoovers is just Hoovers. They don't run with nobody. It's just a Hoover car. You know what I mean? Hoovers is just by themselves. They don't fuck with nobody else. You know what I mean? The Hoovers is kind of like Bulldogs. You know what I mean? Anybody who know about the Fresno Bulldogs, they not a part. That's a Mexican gang, the Fresno Bulldogs. But in prison, the Bulldogs don't fuck with nobody. They don't fuck with the SAs. They don't fuck with the NAs, the Norteños, the Serenos. The Bulldogs don't fuck with nobody. You know what I mean? And you know, that's how the Hoovers are. See, you got your different gangs, right? Like the Hoovers is a black gang. They're not affiliated with the Bloods or the Crips except for the Five Deuces. So the Hoovers is just Hoovers in jail. They by themselves. The Bulldogs is by themselves. And then also the Matavillas. You know what I mean? The Matavillas is based out of East LA, but they got Matavillas in different parts of California too. I'm not exactly sure. I can't say, you know, no particular areas, but the Matavillas, you know, they not with the SAs neither. You know what I mean? Raider G, shout out to Fresno. You already know. So the Matavillas, they another gang is just Matavilla. They just by themselves. They don't run with nobody. You know what I mean? That's why I like in LA County, I ain't been there in years, but I remember on the 2000 floor, the Matavillas had their own unit. It was just Matavillas. You know what I mean? It wasn't no SAs, no. Well, I don't think it was no Crips and Bloods in there. Yeah, they had their own unit on the 2000 floor. It was just none but Matavillas in there. You dig? So Orange Crush say, being from Long Beach, I assume you probably related to a lot of Crips. Nah, I mean, I am related to some Crips, but not from Long Beach though, because I don't have a whole lot of family in Long Beach. Like, I grew up in Long Beach, and I do have some family there, but the family that I have in Long Beach is not gang affiliated. You know what I mean? Like, out of my family, you know, I'm one of the few that, like, you know, went the street route. You know what I mean? I come from a big family of squares, you know what I mean? Who, you know, went to school, got good jobs, and, you know what I mean, stayed out of trouble. Fortunately, you know what I mean? I'm like the black sheep. You dig? So, obviously I know a lot of Crips because I'm from Long Beach. But as far as relatives, no, I don't have a lot of Crip relatives in Long Beach. Go Young DJ say, you grew up in the Poly Apartments? No, I got shot in front of the Poly Apartments. If you seen my video, My Life Before the Game, I broke down when I got shot. I got shot in front of the PAs, but no, I didn't grow up in the PAs. You know what I mean? That's my only experience with the PAs, is that I got shot in front of that motherfucker, but I didn't grow up there though. You know what I mean? One of my best friends was from the PAs. My homeboy Robert Sanchez. Shout out to my nigga Sanchez. He was from the Poly Apartments, but no, I didn't grow up there. All right, y'all. It's 264 y'all in here, but only 179 likes. Only 179 of y'all wiped your feet off at the door when you came into a pimp's domain. You dig? Go ahead, wipe your feet off at the door one time. And if you haven't yet, put some love in your body. You dig? Like so. James Hudson say, Freeze, what sets is in Pacoima off the 118? Okay, on the east side of the 118, because the 118 in Pacoima is the divider between east and west, right? On the east side of the 118, you have Paxton Street. which Paxton Street runs parallel to the 118, right, on the east side of it. And Paxton Street, you know, they part of the Pacas. They essays from Pacoima, 13s from Pacoima, right? Serenos. So you got Paxton Street on the east side of the 118. On the west side of the 118, you got Vine Street, which is another SA gang from Pacoima. And Vine Street runs parallel to the 118 on the west side of the 118, west side of Pacoima. A1A Reputable, yeah, you already know Pacoima Pyrus. Pacoima Pyrus, they kind of like scattered around Pacoima. You know, you got some Pacoima Pyrus a little bit all over Pacoima, but the Pacoima Pyrus headquarters is the Van Nuys Apartments / Pierce Apartments. Now, the Van Nuys Apartments and the Pierce Apartments are two big ass apartment complexes just like the projects, right? They like projects, but they apartment complexes, but they real big apartment complexes, right? And they're connected to each other, the Pierce and the Van Nuys. You know what I mean? And that's the headquarters for the Pacoima Pyrus. You know what I mean? That's like they ground zero. You dig? So yeah. But which that's on the east side of Pacoima. You know, but like I said, Pacoima Pyrus, they scattered all over. Like you got Pacoima Pyrus on Vine Street, and you got them in different parts of Pacoima. You dig? So yeah. But Pacoima, for it to be such a small place, it's a lot of fucking gangs in Pacoima. Like Pacoima is little as a motherfucker, but it's kind of like Compton, you know, but except for, you know, Compton got a lot of Crip and Pyru gangs. Pacoima got a lot of SA gangs. And, you know, every other damn street or block is a different, you know, gang in Pacoima. You know, as far as black gangs in Pacoima, of course, you got Pacoima Pyrus. That's the biggest black gang in Pacoima. You got the Front Streets, which is the Valley Front Streets, you know, which they originated from Front Street Watts. You know, so Front Street Watts has a Pacoima clique, which is the Valley Front Streets, right? And from what I remember back in the days, they was off of Fillmore Street, you know. They was off of Fillmore. So you had them and then the First Street East Coasters. Now, the First Street East Coast, anybody who knows about them knows that they originally from Aliso Village, you know what I mean, which is the projects off of First Street in East LA. Now, you know, Aliso Village got torn down, I want to say like late 90s or somewhere close to 2000, you know what I mean? And of course, all the First Streets, they got pushed out of there. But even before they got pushed out of there, the First Streets had a clique in Pacoima. You know what I mean? And from what I remember, the majority of them stay on the hill. Like Pacoima got a hill, you know what I mean, area called Hanson Hills. That's where the First Street East Coast is at in Pacoima. So yeah, and those is like the three like real black gangs, long-standing black gangs in Pacoima. Pacoima Pyrus, which they the biggest, the Front Streets and the First Street East Coast. And now OVGs, right? OVG is the oldest black gang in the whole San Fernando Valley, which for those of y'all who don't know, Pacoima is a section of the San Fernando Valley. OVGs originated in Pacoima. They the oldest black gang in the valley. Now the OG, because my family is from there, right? Like all my uncles, I got some older cousins. They all from OVG, right? Now the original OVGs started in Pacoima, and they wasn't Bloods or Crips. They was just originally just OVG, Original Valley Gangsters. Then later on, you know what I mean, they had some in the West Valley because Pacoima is the East Valley. They got some West Valley OVGs, which is the West End OVGs. Those ones is Crips. You know, that's the younger generation. You know what I mean? They got some OGs too, but the original, like the first generation of OVGs, they not Crips or Bloods. You know what I mean? And then yeah. So right, 818, you already know, West End. Raider, nah, not OBG, OVG, Original Valley Gangsters. Born Supreme, yeah, next to downtown in Boyle Heights. Right, yeah, in Boyle Heights, that's where Lisso Village was, the first street East Coast. That's where they was from. You know what I mean? You know, then they got pushed out of there. You know what I mean? The government and the police kind of pushed them out of there, and then after they got pushed out of there, the projects got tore down. So they got some other like newer projects over there now, but it's not Lisso Village. It's called Pueblo something. Not to be confused with Pueblo del Sol, which is where the Five Deuce Pueblos Bloods are. Right, Born Supreme, yeah, the OVGs is Crips now. You know what I mean? But when they originated, they wasn't Crips or they wasn't affiliated with nothing. They was just OVGs. Right, Woo Woo say First Street, East Coast, and Pacoima and Hanson Hills. Exactly. Yep. Neck of the Woods updated say Pacoima is like the Watts of the Valley. Yeah. You know, because like I said, for those of y'all who know, when I was real little, I stayed at Pacoima like from when I was born until I was like in the 3rd grade. Yeah, the 3rd grade. That's when I left Pacoima. But yeah, back in the 80s, man, Pacoima was a dangerous ass place. It was crazy. You know what I mean? Big Mac say, what about Center Park Bloods? I don't know a whole lot about Center Park Bloods. I just know that they are in Inglewood, and I want to say they close to like Prairie, and they on the other side of Century. They I want to say they in between Imperial and Century, I think. But yeah, you know, Center Park Bloods, they from Inglewood. You know, they well-respected blood gang out there. But I don't know a whole lot about them, though. I just know they from Inglewood. Yeah. A1A Rebel will say, back in the 80s, we had a few kitchen Crips in Pacoima, too. Yeah, I don't remember that. That's probably, I was probably too young to remember that. But I do remember when I was in the 80s, when I was a little kid in Pacoima, I remember the East Coast being there. I remember the front streets being there. And, of course, the OVGs and the Pacoima Pyrus. I remember all of them being there. And, excuse me. Hold up. Yeah, so hold up. Responding to a message, excuse me. Martino says, who runs Figueroa? It depends on what part of Figueroa you're talking about. Now, closer to downtown, I'm not exactly sure, but I want to say, it's some essays. Oh, I want to say is it the Harpies? I can't remember. But it's certain essays close to Figueroa, like closer to like USC up that way. But it's a lot of gentrification going on up that way too, though. So now, you know, you got certain parts of Figueroa in the 40s, you know what I mean, where the Rolling 40s neighborhood Crips are, you know what I mean. Then when you get to the 50s, it's the 5 Deuce Hoovers and the 5'9" Hoovers off of Figueroa. When you get to the 60s of Figueroa, you got Playboy Hustler Crips over there. Then when you get to the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, that's all Hoovers. 7-4 Hoovers, 8-Tray Hoovers, 9 Deuce Hoovers, 9-4 Hoovers. That's all the way up to Century, which Century might as well be 100th Street. That's why it's called Century, because it's the 10,000 block. You know what I mean? That would be like the 100th block in LA. Then once you cross Century, from Century to 120th Street is all Denver lanes. You dig? So yeah, that's pretty much the breakdown of Figueroa Street as far as what gangs run that area. Neck of the Woods updated said, I thought Denver lanes run Fig. Yeah, in the hundreds they do. You know what I mean? From Century to 120th, that's all Denver lanes up and down Fig. That's they got stronghold on that for sure. Yep. Gimme Mo say, what effects of gentrification have you seen in your neighborhood? In my particular neighbor, I'll just say, because you know, I feel like the whole city of Long Beach is my neighborhood. Really, LA County period. LA County period is, I feel like, is my neighborhood. Shit. You know what I mean? I represent LA County period. But as far as Long Beach, I haven't. It's sad. I don't even be feeling like at home no more, man. It's a lot different. You know, I haven't really been there and really spent a lot of time there in years. Of course, I done passed through there here and there, but I don't really know how gentrification is really affecting it in detail. But I do know, like, certain neighborhoods, like, you know, houses that people had were torn down and new shit was put up there. And I don't know what's going on as far as who's currently living there, like if they pushed the people that was living in that neighborhood out and allowed more, you know, people with a higher income there. I'm not exactly sure. You dig? So, but I know black communities all over America, like as far as in LA, you know, like Inglewood, South Central, Watts, you know, San Francisco, then experienced a whole lot of gentrification there. DC, you know what I mean? They going through it like crazy. You dig? So, yeah, it's fucked up. Because the people who've been in them communities for decades, you know, they get pushed out and they can't afford to live in the new housing that they put in that area. You know what I mean? So they end up going other places. Like I know in California, a lot of people end up moving to Lancaster and Palmdale, the Antelope Valley. You dig? So, yeah, it's fucked up. Yep, Ken say Houston 3rd Ward and 5th Ward. Mike Larry say Chicago gentrification, Raider, Compton. Yep, Compton going through it too. They pushing most black people to San Bernardino and Victorville. Yeah. Now, San Bernardino is a crazy place because, you know, they got black people that been there forever. Like, I got family. I'm not really in tune with them, but I know I got some family members. They've been in San Bernardino at least since the 50s, right? Since the 1950s. So it's certain black families that been there a long time. But at the same time, a lot of people get, like he said, a lot of people get pushed out of LA County and end up going to San Bernardino and Victorville and all that. But it's fucked up because the niggas from San Bernardino do not like niggas from LA and vice versa. You know what I mean? But I think it's really more so the San Bernardino niggas pushing the line on the LA niggas because they think the LA niggas is trying to come out there and take over. And, you know, they ain't trying to have it and all that old shit, you know. So they trying to let motherfuckers know, like, nigga, this our shit. So, yeah, it'd be a lot of craziness going on between niggas from San Bernardino and niggas from LA County. You know what I mean? So, Moreno Valley. Yeah, Moreno Valley is another little place where a lot of bullshit be happening, but a lot of niggas be getting pushed out there, too. Sinful to P. Blessings to everybody. What's up with it, man? There goes Sinful to P. See, now you can see, bro. Everybody in the comment section. Where's Sinful? Where's Sinful to P? Where's Sinful at? Sinful. I feel like the little Brady girl. Marsha. Sinful. Well, here goes Sinful, man. He here now. And now we just, you know, we just chopping it up. You know what I mean? I done already told my cross-country county jail stories, and now we just chopping it up. So for all of y'all who has something to say about, you know, where's Sinful, all your questions for Sinful, he in here so you can ask him. You know what I mean? There you go. Yeah. But, James Hudson say gentrification is pushing blacks to Desert Hot Springs and Barstow and Victorville. Yeah. They pushing them further and further out, man. It's crazy. And it been going on so long in certain places like, you know, like Lancaster and Palmdale. You know, my mom been living in Lancaster since 95, right? So she been there almost 25 years this year, right? It'll be 25 years that she been in Lancaster. And when moms first moved to Lancaster, I want to say the population was like a little under 40,000, but somewhere close to 40,000, right? Now, the population in Lancaster, I want to say, is like at least 150 something thousand. So the population done tripled within that time, and it's pretty much the same story for Palmdale too. You dig? So the whole Antelope Valley, pretty much their population done more than tripled in the past 25 years, and a lot of the people who done moved up there is minorities. You know what I mean? Because anybody who remember Lancaster back in the day, it was predominantly white, and I think the white people up there still are. They might still be the majority there, but it's a lot more blacks and Latinos up there now than it was before. Back in the day, it wasn't a whole lot of blacks and Latinos. Like in the 80s and 90s, probably the mid 90s is when it started to change, and now it's you see blacks and Latinos up there everywhere you go now. You know what I mean? So And a big part of that is because, you know, a lot of them have been pushed out of their communities in LA. You dig? So Andre is insightful, says, what can be done individually to stop or slow the gentrification process? You know, unfortunately, man, you know, we don't have any political power. And when I say we, I say us minorities, you know, blacks and Latinos, because a lot of us talk about how us blacks are going through the gentrification, but, you know, minorities, period. You know, Latinos are going through it. Asians are going through it as well. You know, Pacific Islanders, so on and so forth, right? We are going through the gentrification bullshit. But because, like I say, we don't have any political power, and beyond not having any political power, we don't really have any unity like we should. You know what I mean? We don't have any power as far as legislation goes and all that type of shit. You know, it's not really much we can do. You dig? We could do a whole lot more if we were unified, but see, like you said, individually, you know, it's not much that can be done individually. It's something that really takes a group effort. It really takes some unity, you know. So it's just a fucked up situation, man. It ain't really much that's gonna be done about it because we don't have the unity that we need. You dig? So right, like A1A Reputable say, we got to stop selling our property and businesses. That's simple. That's one thing for sure. See, A1A Reputable, you remember Pacoima back in the days, man. You probably remember a time where that whole Van Nuys Boulevard was black owned. Like all the businesses up and down Van Nuys Boulevard was black owned. You know what I mean? Uh, I mean, I don't know how old you are, but you know, when I talk to, because my family moved to Pacoima in like the mid 50s, right? Mid to late 50s. And you know, I still remember, like, you know, Stylesville, you know, that was the barber shop right there, you know, on Van Nuys Boulevard. Then you had the other, I forget the name of that barber shop, but it was two old dudes named James and Kenny, old ass men. That was another barber shop that was black owned on Van Nuys Boulevard. But I remember when I was little, you know, a lot of the businesses was black owned. But I know probably before my time, like in the 50s, especially the 60s and 70s, you know what I mean? All the businesses on Van Nuys Boulevard was black owned. But like you said, you know, everybody sell their shit, you know, because when you somebody that's living paycheck to paycheck, you know, and then you get offered like a nice lump sum, you know, and you thinking about your family and shit like that, it's kind of hard for some people to turn that shit down, you know. But, you know, unfortunately, the majority of us, we don't think about the long-term effects of that shit, you know what I mean, which is us being further disoriented as we already are. You know, it just leads to us being further disoriented. Okay, A1A said it's still there, Freeze. That's the only black business that's still there, Stylesville. Yeah, Stylesville, you know, that was the spot. I remember the old man, Freddie, did was the owner of Stylesville back in the day. Oh, Freddie. You dig? I remember that. I used to get my hair cut there when I was little. Everything else is either Latin or Asian, period. Yeah, I'm already knowing. You dig? And you know what trips me out about like places like Pacoima and Compton, you know what I mean, to see shit like Starbucks. You know what I mean? I never thought that I would see a Starbucks in Pacoima or in Compton. You know what I mean? But they got that shit. Uh, you know, Compton got that big ass center down there off of Alameda, like that big ass shopping center where they got the Target. They got a 24-hour fitness down there, Starbucks. They got all these businesses that you like. Once upon a time, that would them businesses would never put an establishment in those neighborhoods because, you know, because the property value was so fucked up. You know, they would never put no shit there like that. Same thing with Pacoima. You know what I mean? It's a trip to see a damn Starbucks in Pacoima now, but and I think I want to say Pacoima got a Best Buy, or they got some other shit there that I never thought I would see there. I forgot what it was that they put there now. You dig? Raider G say we need to get along. That's for sure. But you know, it's steps being taken, man. Like one of the things as far as the city of LA and LA County that I'm most proud of, man, is to see the peace between the Florences and the East Coast. Like, that shit is big. Right, hey, when they say Best Buy, Costco off of Paxton. Right, I knew I wasn't tripping. Yeah, Best Buy and Costco. Yeah. But the peace between the Florence and the East Coast, man, that's major. You know, that's some shit, motherfucker, like I talked about before not too long ago. That's some shit we never expected to happen. But to see that, it lets you know that there's room for some major changes to go down in a positive direction in LA, man. And just imagine, like I said before, man, I spoke on it before, but just imagine if all the gangs and all the ethnicities, all the minorities in California was united. You know what I mean? And we all was pushing for the same cause. That'd be some crazy shit in a beautiful way. Right, Paxton and San Fernando Road, indeed. Danny Grayson say we got it bad out here in Kansas City. I'm already knowing, man, it's fucked up. You know, like a lot of black communities all over the country is going through it. Born Supreme say Pacoima Hills around D4 has some nice houses with views though. Yeah, man, still to this day, my auntie and uncle, they stay on the hill in Pacoima right now. They've been having that house shit for damn near 50 years. You know what I mean? They've been there forever. And they house is real nice, man. And them houses is expensive as a motherfucker too. A lot of them houses in Pacoima is small as a motherfucker, but worth 7, 8, 900,000. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if some of them houses in Pacoima is worth $1 million, but small as a motherfucker though. You know what I mean? That just go to show you the property value in LA. It's ridiculous. Oh, James Hudson. See, you already know it. Yeah, see, yeah, that's Small World. We both from the beach, but both got history in Stylesville. Yeah, man. When I was a little kid in the 80s, I used to get my hair cut in Stylesville too. Yeah. For real. Dig that. Small world. Right. Hey, when they rep will say, man, my parents got a house in Lakeview Terrace, $750K. Right. And I bet you that shit probably ain't even 3,000 square feet. Oh, wait, 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, and that ain't big at all. Facts. Right. This cat that I know, his grandmother, Miss Mitchell, she had a house on Vine Street, right across the street from Vine Street Elementary. And on the west side of Pacoima. And she had that house for a lot of decades, a lot of years, right? And she passed away a few years ago. And I want to say they sold that house for like 800 and something thousand. Yeah, it was like 800 something thousand they sold that house for. And that house was small. You know what I mean? It was like a 3 or 4 bedroom. I've been in there before. I can't remember how many bedrooms, but the house is small. It's a little bitty house. You know what I mean? Right. It ain't 3,000 square feet, not even. I'm already knowing. You know, I know how that shit go. And see, like, you know, in them situations where, you know, families got houses like that in neighborhoods like Pacoima or South Central or Watts or Compton, Carson, you know what I mean? Like, we, you know, black communities, you know, we got families that been having these houses for 50 and 60 years and shit like that. And, you know, when they bought that house, shit, that shit was worth a fraction. Like, hey, when they reputable, I'm pretty sure when your parents bought that house, that shit they probably didn't even pay like 10% of what it's worth right now. You know what I mean? When they first bought it, it was probably like not even 70,000. You know what I mean? But so it's like when you got families with houses like that, and you know somebody come offer them a big ass check, right? Hey, when they reputable. See, I'm already knowing. I said 10%. I hit that shit right on the money. They paid 75K Freeze. Exactly. I'm already knowing. In 1980, right? Exactly. I'm already knowing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, cause my auntie, she had a house on Del Sur in Dronefield in Pacoima, right? Right there, close to the San Fernando borderline, but on the Pacoima side, right? And my auntie had that house, I want to say since like the late 50s. From the late 50s, I think that's when she moved there, or definitely in the 60s, right? But her and my uncle, they sold that house in the mid 90s, like probably like 94, 95 or something like that. You know what I mean? And I could just imagine what they got for it back then. I can imagine what that house is worth right now. You know what I mean? That shit, and that was a nice house. You know what I mean? Over there, it's right on the corner of Del Sur and Dronefield. It's on the northwest, I want to say, corner over there. But yeah. Born Supreme say, my cousin stay in Lakeview Terrace. His neighborhood and crib is dipped. Yeah, Lakeview Terrace got some cool houses and neighborhoods over there. Right, James Hudson say, during the housing boom in the mid 2000s, houses was going for 500K in Watts. Oh, I'm already knowing. And shit, Watts is kind of similar to Pacoima. Like, actually, them houses in Watts, shit, some of them houses be even smaller. Like, Pacoima got some small houses. Them houses in Watts be small like that, too. You know what I mean? Like, them houses that was going for 500,000 over there in Watts, they probably was small as a motherfucker, too. I'm already knowing. Born Supreme say, in the 50s and 60s, cribs in the valley were like 10 to 20 racks, no lie. I'm already knowing. But you know, shit, the value of the dollar was way stronger back then. It was way different. So if you factor in inflation, though, it's still a lot cheaper than what houses is going for right now. A1A Reputable say, right by the swap meet. I know where you're talking about. Exactly. K-Day Money Podcast say, see a pimp, bless a pimp. Blessed to you as well. Good looking. Yeah, man. Well, I've been live with y'all for damn near 3 hours, man. As y'all already know, it's always a pleasure. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Before I wrap it up, man, if you have not wiped your feet off at the door when you came into a pimp's domain, please do so now. What I mean by that is, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, that like button one time, please, and thank you. You know what I mean? Go ahead and put some of this love shit in your body if you haven't. You know what I mean? Even if you have, go ahead and put some love. Like so. You dig? And yeah, man, once again, as always, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I appreciate you for hitting the like button. I appreciate you for all your comments, your questions, your input, your feedback, so on and so forth. I appreciate the shares. I appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate you hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate your support in every which way that you come with it, you dig? And as always, we're going to do this once again. And with this bullshit spreading around, man, please be careful, man, because it's really fucking the world up right now. We all being affected by it one way or another, whether or not you want to acknowledge that as a fact. So please be safe. You know what I mean? Practice social distancing. You know what I mean? Now it shouldn't be too hard to stay sucker free, because, you know, I've been doing my best to practice social distancing with these suckers all my life. And, you know, that's one positive thing about this coronavirus spreading around. You know what I mean? I'm able to practice social distancing with sucker ass niggas, punk ass bitches, all that type of shit. You know what I mean? But if you're out and about, moving around, please do so in a safe fashion. Protect yourself. Keep yourself safe and healthy. You know what I mean? And until next time, Freeze is it. I'll holla.